Hello nerdies and nerds, and welcome to the inaugural tournament of Spartan Sasuke.
That is when it all began, nearly 4.5 years ago. Throughout 900 runs across 18 tournaments on Halo 5 Guardians, the show has grown and evolved into what it is today. We've had so many incredible moments made, from the many failures to the total victories and everything else in between. It truly feels like we've seen it all. But now, the time that brings the end of an era has come. Tonight, 100 Spartans will partake in the most anticipated tournament in the history of Spartan Sasuke. Tonight will be the final tournament on Halo 5 Guardians before we move to Halo Infinite. On top of that, this tournament will mark the 1000th ever attempt at the first stage. Our 100 competitors will be looking to give it everything they've got in this historic tournament. For them, failure is not an option. Who has what it takes to pull through and go out with a bang in the last Halo 5 tournament? Who will fall short of their goals and leave Halo 5 in gut-wrenching defeat? We're just moments away from finding out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time on Halo 5 Guardians, this is the ultimate survival attack, Spartan Sasuke! The first stage of Tournament 19, 100 competitors will be taking it on. How many will advance in this tournament? Let's find out. Kicking off Tournament 19, at number 901 in the run order is the newcomer Naki. Since this is the tournament where we reach 1,000 runs, Naki will be starting the tournament at number 901 as opposed to just number 1. But anyways, we still got 100 competitors. He'll have 90 seconds to complete 9 obstacles, and it begins with a new one, the log jam. You gotta run through, time your jumps correctly, which he's done pretty nicely, and he's through the first obstacle. On now to the butterfly wall. Haven't seen this since Tournament 3. He's able to mount onto it, but he walks off the back! Naki out on the butterfly wall to start the tournament. On to number 902, another newcomer. This is HBO Cursed, or as we just simply like to call him, Cursed. He'll also have 90 seconds to get through the first stage. Let's see if he can do any better than Naki did. Alright, through the log jam, heading to the butterfly wall. Can he figure this out? This is a classic obstacle, hasn't been seen in many tournaments, and Cursed is going to get through it and will be the first to attempt the TIE Fighter. Heading to the first window, but does not get a jump, and Cursed is out on the TIE Fighter. Bad luck to him. On to TH Drew TV, formerly known as Drew TV 37. Bit of a slight gamer tag change since when we last saw him in the previous tournament, but he's made it through the log jam, something he couldn't do in the last tournament, getting through that first obstacle. Onto the butterfly wall, taking his time before this dismount, does not want to make a silly mistake, but can he figure out the TIE Fighter? Counting down the first set of windows. Alright, he gets a jump unlike Cursed, and he's gonna get through the TIE Fighter. Now for the jumping spider, only got a minute left. He may want to start picking up the pace if he's thinking about clearing. And he definitely is. He's got into the jumping spider on a good pace so far. Onto the third ledge, looking into the fourth ledge, but does not make it. Drew TV, a good run, comes to an end on the jumping spider. On now to Mumbles Fogarty, making his staggering 11th appearance on the course. Got to the TIE Fighter last time. Let's see how he does today. Mumbles. Oh, that was a terrible jump off the log jam. A-OK. Oh, dare. Back to his old ways of failing the first obstacle. On now to Joey Davis 808. This guy was very excited about doing a run for this tournament, and now here he is making his debut in the final Halo 5 tournament. Let's see how he does. Joey making good work of the logjam. Not going to make the same mistake as Mumbles. Heading on to the butterfly wall. How will he do here? Go straight for the dismount. Risky move, but it pays off. Onto the TIE Fighter. Going off the first window. Second window. Joey making it to the jumping spider. Will he be able to get through it unlike Drew TV? He mounts into it, but still got a long way to go before he completes the obstacle. Here's the jump Drew just failed. He's got it. Going for the fifth ledge, and he's going to be the first to advance to mix a match. This obstacle made its debut in the last tournament. One of the trickiest first stage obstacles we've ever had. Off the soccer ball, heading into the golf ball, but he comes up short. It looked like it was good, but it wasn't good enough to make it to the golf ball. Bad luck. On now to Easy C Frenzy. A lot of newcomers taking on this tournament, and Frenzy is one of them. And he's beginning his first run at the course, heading through the logjam. No problems at all. Heading to the butterfly wall. Will he be able to get through this? Frenzy! No, he can't. He does not crouch, and he's out on the butterfly wall. Time for our first fast forward. Empathy Zaya goes out on the logjam, as well as Rory. Interesting gamer tag. Webby Fatsack, an even more creative gamer tag, tried to stick to one side of the TIE Fighter. Didn't quite work out. And finally, Derek Healer couldn't quite make it through the logjam. Up next, we have a competitor we haven't seen in a very long time. Next up is Lord of Ooh, one of the original 23 competitors from the first tournament. His last appearance back in Tournament 1, and now he's back for the final Halo 5 tournament. He failed the fourth obstacle, the rapid descent at the time. Let's see if he can make it to the jumping spider. He's got the TIE Fighter to get through first. Lord of Ooh, nicely done into the jumping spider. This is the position where he failed way back in Tournament 1. Obviously, the course was way easier back then, but Lord of Ooh heading into the jumping spider, but comes up short. A good run, but goes out on the jumping spider. Alright, on now to three-time Wrangler Weiser Buckle. Back for his third run. Let's see how he does. Weiser crouches going into that third set of logs, taking his time going for the dismount. No problem with at all, but he does need to keep in mind about the time limit. It's still 90 seconds, just like last tournament, but with some of these obstacles, it definitely is a lot more strict. On now to the TIE Fighter. Let's see how he does. Eyeing down the first window. Come on, Weiser, you gotta go eventually. Here he goes. Off the first window, but it was a bad jump. Weiser out on the TIE Fighter. Next up, Silent Ghost 1239. The four-time Wrangler has been competing since Tournament 16. Let's see how he does. Does not good at all. He goes out on the first obstacle, the logjam. Did not have a good jump going into that third log. Now we have Sapphire John, formerly known as California Stark. Another guy who changed his gamer tag, a bit more drastic of a change compared to Drew TV earlier. But Sapphire John, he's gonna do what Silent Ghost couldn't do and get through the first obstacle, logjam. Sapphire John onto the butterfly wall. He wore number 1 way back in Tournament 16. Almost comes up short there, but able to get a safe jump. Nicely done. On out to the TIE Fighter. Can he get through this? Ooh, no, he can't. Didn't quite get a jump. Alright, time for our next fast forward. Carlos Gamer 2524 failed the logjam. Followed by Lil Pat 2006 going out on the butterfly wall. Followed by the Living Toast 8 who smacked his face on the beginning of the TIE Fighter. And finally, Panther Dude 1 also goes out on the TIE Fighter. The next competitor to go is Panther's friend, and one who's had a big impact on Spartan Sasuke. He is King Tommy, formerly known as Field Scarecrow. He is notable for being the first ever Spartan to take on the Spartan Sasuke course, both in run order and filming. Although his results are nothing special, especially with two first jump failures in a row, his contribution to the show will forever remain in the history books. Now he is back for his first time since Tournament 3. A lot of changes have been made to the course since we last saw him. Oh, but he's gonna walk off the first log. Oh, that was terrible. Why did you have to throw it like that, man? Oh, bad luck. Alright, next up, newcomer Maroon Pirate 624. Oh, gets a bad jump going into that third log. Let's see if Blue Flame could do any better. 90 seconds, his time has started. Blue Flame going into the second log. He's gonna crouch. He's gonna take a running sideways approach to get to that third log. And going for the dismount, but comes up short. Ooh, no. Already, a lot of log jam fails stacking up. Let's see if Hobo Solo 1 can break the losing streak on the first obstacle. Hobo Solo 1 back for his 4th appearance. Let's see how he does today. Put in quite a bit of practice this tournament. Let's see if it could pay off. Alright, looks like it's going to on the first obstacle. Break that streak of failures right there. Nicely done. Onto the butterfly wall. He's gonna be able to dismount from that. Ooh, gets a safe jump as well. Another close call on that dismount. It is a bit of a tricky jump, but Hobo Solo through another tricky obstacle, the TIE Fighter. Will he be able to make it for the jumping spider? Hobo! Yes! Oh no! He slides off the first ledge of the jumping spider. Ooh, let's see what went wrong here. It looks like he got a good jump into it, but he slides off. He looks like he had too much momentum going into the ledge, and I don't think he was expecting that. That is a shame. Alright, better number 923, Spartan Walnut 71. This was the guy that kicked off Season 4. First guy to take on the course after Smokey's second total victory. Back for appearance number 6, Spartan Walnut onto the butterfly wall. Taking a bit of time going into the dismount. Does not want to take any risks. Now for the TIE Fighter, first window, second window, Spartan Walnut into the jumping spider. Alright, looks like he's going to take his time lining up for it. Spartan, yes, he's into it. Spartan Walnut 71, making it through the jumping spider, into the 4th ledge, looking into the 5th ledge. Come on, Spartan, you can get through this obstacle, and he has. Onto mix and match. He's into the first pallet, into the soccer ball, trampoline, golf ball. Oh, but he touches the support. That is a disqualification.
Oh, I got past the jumping spider, finally.
A good run indeed, but not good enough to get through the first stage. Next, fast forward, Nitty 7 Grizzlies out on the TIE Fighter. We have Ice. He hasn't competed in a while, but he's going to fail to dismount of the butterfly wall. Following that was an epic Zekrom, filling in for an epic Reshiram who couldn't quite make it for this tournament. Barum Bucks was able to make it to the butterfly wall. Famous Halo wrestler couldn't quite get the job done on the butterfly wall. Takes his gravity hammer with him. On now to Epic Games with you, another newcomer. He is a bit of a Fortnite fan. Anyways, despite being a fan of that, let's see how he does here on Halo. He's got a pretty good crowd following him, despite being a Fortnite kid. Anyways, taking his time going for the butterfly wall dismount. He's gonna get the job done. Onto the TIE Fighter, looking into the first window. Second, oh, can't quite make it. Didn't quite have enough momentum. Epic Games out on the TIE Fighter. On out to 4-time regular Petrillo Fam 4. Bit of a coincidence that this is his 4th appearance, but he's going to be taking on the course. Although he's cleared stage 1 on Smoky Massacre's course before, he hasn't been able to do the same on any other course. Let's see if he can break his streak of losing streak here in Tournament 19. Petrillo on a quick pace going into the TIE Fighter. He means business. And he's gonna make it to the jumping spider. Heading into the ledge. He's got it. He failed the mix and match last tournament. I believe. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please do let me know. But here he is on the mix and match right now. Will he be able to be the first to get through this? Petrillo gets nicely into that golf ball, and he's made it through mix and match. He'll be the first to attempt the warp ball this tournament. Does not quite get up it in 1, but he's going to be able to get up it in 2. Now for a new obstacle, the Kudari swing bridge. It's like the old swing bridge from the past, except each of those balls go down, and Petrillo is through and into the Tarzan Jumps. Another new obstacle. He's got to make just a few simple jumps. He needs to be careful not to get knocked off by the poles in the middle, but no problem whatsoever. Petrillo fam On the 9th and final obstacle, the floating orbs. Taking his time, the class is about to sound. He does need to keep in mind the time limit, but it's not gonna matter. Petrolofan 4, the first competitor to clear stage 1 in Tournament 19. Well done, Petrolofan 4, the 4-time regular, clearing stage 1 for his very first time. And the celebrations commencing. They wanted to see Petrolo get through, and he has delivered. He got through his nemesis mix and match that took him out before, and Petrolofan, for his first time on Spartan Sasuke, will be advancing to the second stage. Well done, Petrolo. On out to competitor number 930. Next up is Kilomanoodle. This guy wore number 1 in the run order last tournament. Got pretty far in his debut, getting all the way to the mix and match. Let's see if he can get that far and hopefully join Petrillo on the second stage. This guy's competed on both Smoky and Hunter's courses in the past. Let's see if he can take those skills and put them to good use here. Kilomanoodle, a British competitor, maneuvering through the TIE Fighter. Now for the Jumping Spider. Will he be able to get through this like he could last tournament? He's gotten into the first ledge. Let's see if he can get through the rest of the obstacle. Alright, into the 5th ledge. Kilomanoodle onto mix and match. Time for revenge. Let's see if he can do it. He's into the soccer ball, or as they call it there, the football. Into the golf ball nicely. And now for the warped wall. He's heading up the warped wall, up it in 1, less than 40 seconds going into the Kudari swing bridge. Plenty of time in hand. He just needs to make sure he can get through the remaining jumps well. He's through another obstacle. Now for the Tarzan Jumps. Alright, he's gonna pull a safe jump there. And he's gonna stick the 3rd one into the last obstacle, floating orbs. We're gonna have 2 clears in a row if he can just make it for this. Onto the 4th set, 5th set, 6th set, and he's done it. Kilomanoodle, 12.1 seconds left on the clock, moving on to the second stage for his first time. Congratulations, Kilomanoodle, on just his second appearance. Moving on to the second stage. Kind of reminds me of Sonic Fan last tournament. He made his second appearance then and was able to clear stage 1 in that tournament. This is a repeat of that, and Kilomanoodle will be moving on to the second stage this tournament. 30 runs in already, plenty of success. Time for our next fast forward. Expired Acorn 56 goes out on the Law Jam, followed by Firestar, followed by a whole bunch of random numbers. Aqui Tepancho fails the dismount of the Law Jam, bit of a shame. Next was Deity Momo. Couldn't quite get into the butterfly wall. And that concludes with Colby329, who got a bad jump off the TIE Fighter. Alright, on to run number 36. Another gamer tag change. What's with everyone changing their gamer tags? This is At Play, formerly known as Bondable Apple 4. Nice looking armor, by the way. Anyways, At Play. Alright, looks like he's gonna do the same technique as Blue Flame earlier and do a sideways run to get to the 3rd log. That is the technique you do gotta do if you stop on that 2nd log, and he's done it nicely. Already for the butterfly wall, looking into the TIE Fighter. Ooh, doesn't get a jump off the first ledge. Looks like he hit the window in a bad spot, and that cost him. On now to 2-time regular Tricky Cyrus. This guy nearly defeated the first stage last tournament in his debut, but he shockingly failed dismounting from the vehicle swing. He landed on the platform, but when he got out of his mongoose, he went off the wrong side of mongoose and fell straight into the water. Bit heartbreaking, but let's see if he can make up for it this tournament. There is no vehicle swing to get revenge on this tournament though, so if he wants to get revenge, he'll need to get through both the Kudari swing bridge and the Tarzan Jumps. Alright, into the Jumping Spider nicely. He beat this last tournament. Hopefully, it won't be any issues for Tricky Cyrus. Tricky made it through onto mix and match. Pallet, soccer ball, bouncer, golf ball, second pallet, and onto the warp wall. No problems whatsoever. Alright, lining himself up. Cyrus not able to get up it in one. Needs to take another attempt. Plenty of time though. Still not up it. Needs to take a third attempt. Come on, Cyrus. There you go. Up it in 3. Onto the Kudari swing bridge. First ball. Second ball. Doesn't get a good landing. And he comes up short of the third one. Yeah, you gotta make sure you land in the center of those golf balls. Otherwise, you won't have as much momentum to reach the next one. Alright. On now to Demigod, 6-time regular. He's a frequent member of the Halo basketball community. Let's see how he does on his sixth appearance. He made his debut back in Tournament 12, taking his time for the Butterfly Wall dismount. Now for the TIE Fighter. This is where he failed last tournament. Come on, Demi! Ooh, no, not quite able to get through it. At least it wasn't as painful of a failure as it was last tournament. Oh well. Alright. On now to 12-time regular Ninja Warrior 718. This is a guy who constantly shows up for each tournament. He's competed in every tournament since his Tournament 8 debut, but he hasn't cleared Stage 1 in his first 11 appearances. In fact, his personal best came in one of the more recent tournaments, so let's see if Ninja Warrior, or Jante as we like to call him, can do better. Alright, Ninja Warrior 718 into the TIE Fighter. Gonna get through it now for the Jumping Spider. Let's see how he does. Come on, Jante. Yes, into the Jumping Spider nicely. Can he get through the rest of the obstacle? Looking into that 5th ledge. Not the fastest pace so far, but he's gonna reach mix and match. If he can get through this, it will be a personal best for him. He's never attempted the warp wall on this course before. He'd love to do it, and it looks like he's gonna get that attempt. 40 seconds left. He needs to get up it early, which he does. He's up it in 1. He has a real chance of clearing. Ooh, no! A bit of lag there, but able to recover. I thought he fell there, but it was lag. Anyways, less than 25 seconds going into the Tarzan Jumps. Will he be able to make it through? He's made it through this. Onto the floating orbs. He's in of a real chance now. Come on, Jante. Climb up the floating orbs. You got this. Come on, man. Go. Go. Klaxon sounding. He's nearing the top. And yes, yes, he's done it.
Let's go!
Dude,
Jante!
Jante got it. Dude,
He did it!
okay, look, he went
Great job,
slow.
man.
He went kind of slow, but the only slip up he had at all was right at the end.
No,
That was a very clean run.
After 11 painful failures, Ninja Warrior 718 is finally moving on to the second stage. Well done, Jante. You deserve this, man. Good job. Alright, let's see if Daddy Cheese can do better. Yet another gamer tag change, formerly known as Cheese's Life 5. Now changes gamer tag to Daddy Cheese. With the numbers 26770 at the end of his gamer tag, it was the Xbox generated, so we decided to leave that out and just call him Daddy Cheese. But anyways, he's making his 12th appearance. He missed the last tournament due to not having internet. But he's got internet now, and he's back for appearance number 12. Daddy Cheese into the Jumping Spider. He has cleared once before back in Tournament 13, but he almost beat the first stage in his last appearance. Let's see if he can pull through and make it clear number 2 in this tournament. Into mix and match. Doing pretty good at the moment. Yes. Come on, Cheese. Through mix and match. Nicely done. Warp wall. Up it in 1. Does a little safe jump there. Into the Kudari swing bridge. No! Daddy Cheese comes up short of the first jump. That is a very tricky jump. You gotta get a lot of momentum for that. Alright. Main Mantella was next. He went out on the Log Jam as well as Vio Rican. Def Grunt 2546 failed the Butterfly Wall dismount. That was followed by Fiercario, who couldn't quite get through the TIE Fighter. S Shadow 255 out on the Log Jam, and Motor Subset 899 goes out on the TIE Fighter. On now to Bushcase, a newcomer. This guy, a prominent figure in the Roblox jumping community. Let's see how he does on a Halo jumping course. Bush chase heading into the butterfly wall, able to mount into that. Bush chase heading into the TIE fighter. Let's see if he can get through this. Bush chase into the first window, second window, and he'll be attempting the jumping spider. This is an obstacle a lot of Roblox kids should be familiar with, but Bush chase is gonna mount into it. Almost backs off the first ledge. That would have been a disaster, but he's making good work, albeit a little slow, but he's making it count. Come on, Bush chase. He's nearing the end of the obstacle, and he's on to mix and match on his debut, putting on a good run so far, but time is against him. He does need to pick up the pace. Into the golf ball, but he touches the support. That is a disqualification, and he is out.
Hello peoples, Bubba Ace here, and welcome to the Stage 1 finale of Tournament 16.
Making his 11th consecutive appearance on Spartan Sasuke is the host of Ninja Warrior of Roblox, Bubba Ace 37. Although he hasn't cleared the first stage, the previous 3 tournaments saw him go out on the jumping spider each time. In the last tournament, he was able to achieve a personal best, but only by 1 jump when he failed getting into the second ledge of the jumping spider, in quite a painful way too. Now Bubba is looking to take not just the next step forward by beating the jumping spider, but clearing the first stage as well. And there is All-Star Hunter Unit 751 wishing Bubba good luck. Hunter, of course, being the host of Ninja Warrior of Halo. Both these guys have very similar names to their courses, but now the Roblox host is on the course. Let's see how he does. 11th appearance, making it through the logjam. He's had a couple first obstacle failures in the past, but that's not going to phase him this time. Bubba Ace into the TIE fighter. He would love to get a personal best in this tournament, hopefully even get through the first stage. We've already seen success in this tournament. Let's see if Bubba can pull through. Here is the jumping spider. This is where he failed in each of the previous 3 tournaments. He's able to mount into it. Gets the second ledge out. It's a personal best, but he'd love to get through the rest of this obstacle. Come on, Bubba Ace. 5th ledge.
Okay, can I beat it?
Come on.
Yes, beat it.
He has
Yes.
Bubba Ace.
Fine.
Moving on to mix and match.
Okay.
Ooh, gets an early jump and he's out.
That's okay. I don't care. I beat my nemesis.
Next to go is Crown Ferret 19, the man formerly known on the Xbox 360 as Irish 1200. Irish made his Spartan Sasuke debut in the 14th tournament after being away from Halo jumping for all of Halo 4 and the Master Chief Collection. Although he struggled to gain his footing in his first 3 appearances, he nearly struck gold in Tournament 17, but would fall just short of the first stage finish line when he failed getting into the floating orbs. In the last tournament, he would go out earlier on the stage when he failed mix and match. Now Crown Ferret with a very interesting intro going on here. A lot of people up here: Atlantic, Snoz, Hunter, Flame, and Faripu, who will be running right after Irish. But I was trying to say, he has put in a lot of practice for this tournament, but is still very worried about the mix and match. So we'll see if his practice can finally pay off here. Irish getting last minute good lucks from Hunter. Irish in fact cleared the first stage back in Ninja Warrior of Halo 6, but that was 8 years ago, so let's see if he can pull it off here in Spartan Sasuke 19. And there goes Hunter at last. Crown Ferret 19 onto the course for his 6th appearance. Crown Ferret, good crowd following him. Made it through the logjam into the butterfly wall. Alright, he's going to take his time for this dismount. Crown Ferret, or Irish as many people call him in the jumping community, making it through the TIE fighter. Come on, yes! Now for the jumping spider. Alright, he's beaten this obstacle plenty of times in the past, but he's gotten it this time. 3rd ledge. Looking into the 4th ledge, taking his time. No problems with that at all if he can maintain a good pace. 50 seconds left, heading into mix and match. This is where he failed last tournament. He was very worried about this obstacle. Come on, Crown Ferret. He gets the trampoline. Golf ball, yes! Come on, Crown Ferret. He's got it. But not a lot of time going into the warp wall. He needs to get up it. which he does. He's up it in one. Now for the Kudari swing bridge. He failed the regular swing bridge 3 tournaments ago. Hopefully that won't get to him here. And he's gonna make it through. Not a whole lot of time. 20 seconds going into the Tarzan jumps. He's into the second rope. Third rope. Come on, Crown. You got this, man. He's into the floating orbs. This is where he had that tragic failure 2 tournaments ago. But he's climbing the orbs. Crown Ferret, he's got it. 3.3 seconds left on the clock. And Irish has gotten his first stage clear. He's cleared it for the first time in 8 years on a major jumping course. Crown Ferret 19 making his grand return to a second stage. Look at this utter domination he has showed. Although it may not have been the fastest run, it was still a very smooth run all throughout, and that's what it took to advance to the second stage of Tournament 19. Congratulations, Ferret. We're nearing the halfway mark of the first stage, and rounding off the first half of the field is one of the most influential people in the Ninja Warrior community, Sukoto. More commonly known as Furipu, today this Roblox jumping legend will be making his 3rd appearance on Spartan Sasuke. His biggest claim to fame is his performances in real-life Ninja Warrior. In the 2018 National Ninja League Finals, Philip Scott would clear the first stage, and in the 2019 Finals would defeat the dreaded Monstro Swing. Later that year, he got the call to compete on American Ninja Warrior, where he would reach the first stage of the National Finals. His most recent success came this year, where he would get another NNL Stage 1 clear in the bags. On Spartan Sasuke, his jumping spider fail on AEW would come back to haunt him, as he failed that obstacle in both the previous 2 tournaments. Furipu would love to get past the jumping spider this tournament, make it 3rd time's the charm, and hopefully join his friend Crown Ferret on stage 2. So let's see if he can do just that. 90 seconds. The ninja is on the course. Furipu heading through the log jam. Nicely through that into the butterfly wall. This guy has had so much inspiration. And now he'll be moving on to the TIE Fighter. First window. Second window does not quite make it. Furipu cannot even get to the jumping spider this tournament. Out on the TIE Fighter, let's see what went wrong. When he went off the first window, it looks like he hit the second window in a bad spot, and that's all it took to be eliminated by the TIE Fighter. And with that, we are halfway through stage 1 here in Tournament 19. 4 clears out of the 50 attempts so far. Changing off the second half of the field, a competitor we haven't seen in a very long time. Nice Cat versus Xbox. First time competing since Tournament 8. Let's see how he does. Nice Cat. Ooh, had the wrong technique going to the 3rd log. Yeah, if you stop on that 2nd log, you gotta do the sideways run up, and he did not do that, and he came up short. Alright, on now to newcomer Avow's the Samurai. This guy's competed plenty of times before on Smoky Massacre's course, but now he'll be making his long-awaited debut on Spartan Sasuke. Avow's the Samurai gonna get for the first obstacle, unlike Nice Cat, but Avow's stops on the butterfly wall. Nicely through that into the TIE Fighter. We just saw Furipu go out here just earlier. Can Avow's get through it? Yes, he can. Into the jumping spider, making a good debut so far. Let's see if he can get through this. No, he can't. Jumped too early, and he is out. On to competitor 953. I'm a so shift-faced. This guy is the host of the 30 Racing League, aka DRL, and Hunter Unit. There he is, wishing Shift good luck. He also competes in the DRL. And on the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see footage of what it's like. It's every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, I'm a so shift face. Doing pretty good so far. He's through the first obstacle. Now, this guy, he's gonna eye down the butterfly wall dismount. He does have his SMG down. I don't know if that helps him or not. If anything, it might be more of a hindrance having his weapon down, but whatever works for him. And he, it was a risky technique on that TIE Fighter, but it pays off. Alright, looking into the jumping spider. Good run so far. Let's see if he can get through this. Good timing, but ooh, he drifts off to the side, and that's killed his momentum. Up next, another guy making his return to the course. Next up, Pixel Project, making his 8th appearance today. There was Weapon Matt wishing him good luck. He'll be competing later after he declared retirement 2 tournaments ago. We'll have more to say on that when we get to his run. But nevertheless, let's focus on Pixel Project right now. He's onto the butterfly wall, into the TIE Fighter. His last appearance came back in Tournament 13. Pixel moving on to the jumping spider. We've seen quite a few failures on his obstacles so far, and Pixel's gotta be another one added to that list. Bad luck. Alright, time for our next fast forward. The Great Gorditi going out on the logjam, followed by Little Vane. Hasn't competed in a while, first time since Tournament 13 out on the butterfly wall. His brother Big Vane getting all the way to the Kudari swing bridge, followed by El Tigre Blanco, who failed mix and match, and finally Ripto9866, who went out on the TIE Fighter on his first run since Tournament 12. On to run number 960 I should say, Reach 0360. And yeah, judging by the gamer tag, he's probably a big fan of Halo Reach. No problem with that at all. Reach onto the butterfly wall. Oh, that was a terrible jump off that dismount. Goes out on the butterfly wall. Oh well. Alright, next up, 10-time regular Score Bunny Rocks 8. It's hard to believe that this is her 10th appearance on the course already, but she's made it nevertheless. Score Bunny Rocks 8. Oh, doing an accidental spring jump there on that 3rd log, but I guess it works. Anyway, Score Bunny Rocks 8 into the butterfly wall, doing another safe jump. Does not want to make a simple mistake. No problems with that at all. Score Bunny into the TIE Fighter. She's gonna make it to the jumping spider. Eyeing down the jump. Let's see. Oh, she hesitates a little. She's shooting the ground, kind of marking where she should jump. Oh, but she jumps too early, way before her mark. She's out on the jumping spider. Alright, from one fellow Quad Squad member to another. Next up, Emerald Dragon, making his 5th appearance. His debut, a little more recent, came in the 15th tournament. Let's see how Emerald Dragon does today. Alright. He's through the logjam, heading into the butterfly wall. Let's see how he does. Emerald Dragon. Oh, bad dismount there. It looked like he had it, but he got bounced off and rejected. Bad luck. On now to a wipeout course, making his 7th appearance. This guy was formerly known back in his early appearances as X-Pacific X Ocean X. A lot of X's in there, but now he's a wipeout course. Traitor. Anyways, a wipeout course. In doing the 360, he's showing as much respect as Dom back in the 360 days. On now to the TIE Fighter. Going for the first window, second window, and heading into the jumping spider. And yes, I know that was a drink of water. There's probably going to be plenty of that this tournament. But anyways, a wipeout course is into the jumping spider. Into the 4th ledge, 5th ledge. Can he make the dismount? Yes, he can. Alright. Heading into mix and match. Heading into the soccer ball. Taking his time. Ooh, not a lot of momentum, and gets false bounced. Bad luck. Next up is Crimson Gulch 360. The guy formerly known as Seeker Squad 157 made his debut in the 13th tournament and has competed in each tournament since. In Tournament 16, he came close to clearing the first stage, but would run out of time on the vehicle suite. In Tournament 7, he would get his revenge and would clear the first stage, but would go out on just the first obstacle of the second stage. In the last tournament, his old nemesis would prove to be his downfall when his mongoose got caught on the center pole and would fall on the vehicle swing once again. The vehicle swing is now gone in this tournament, with both the Kudari swing bridge and the Tarzan Jumps taking his place. Can the 7-time veteran get revenge on the first stage? Let's find out. He has proven to be a bit of a more recent success on Spartan Sasuke. Heading into the butterfly wall, Crimson Gulch, the leader of the Quad Squad. His fellow members have already run and failed stage 1 as per usual. Now it will be up to Crimson Gulch to carry the weight of the Quad Squad forward into the second stage. Crimson Gulch making his way for the Jumping Spider at a quick pace so far. And he's gonna quickly advance to the mix and match. We just saw a wipeout course go out here. Let's see if Crimson Gulch can avenge him. And it looks like he's going to nicely through mix and match, smoothly through into the warp wall. He's not able to get up it in one. Can he get up the warp wall in this second attempt? Yes, he can. Alright, 30 seconds left as he mounts into the Kudari swing bridge, heading to the third ball, fourth ball, and he's through 2 obstacles left to go. Tarzan jumps next. Alright, he's gonna get a jump into the second rope. Third rope, eyeing down the final obstacle, the floating orbs, and it looks like he's gonna do it. It looks like he's gonna advance to the second stage for his second time, get revenge on the first stage, and doing a little celebration there before clearing in 4.1 seconds left on the clock. Crimson Gulch 360 moving on to the second stage for his second time in the previous 3 tournaments. Nicely done by him. A good run all throughout. Nice mount into the Kudari swing bridge, making the obstacle look easy. And Crimson Gulch 360, the leader of the Quad Squad, will be advancing to the second stage. Well done, Crimson Gulch. Next, fast forward, Regium Draco goes out on the Law Jam, followed by Spartan Oxen, wearing a bit of different colors. He goes out on the butterfly wall. Ninja Hyper 689, what a gamer tag. He also fails the butterfly wall. In fact, a lot of these competitors failed the butterfly wall, including Big Don JR92 and the Long Night, covered number 969. Followed by Count Fenris, and Cactus Man was able to get through the butterfly wall, but not the TIE Fighter. And that's already 71 runs down, 29 to go. Next up, a competitor also making a long-awaited debut for Volcanic Crowd 5. He's made plenty of appearances on Smoky Massacre's course. Let's see if he can make it through. Volcanic Crowd 5 into the butterfly wall. Alright, and he's gonna dismount from that obstacle, heading into the TIE Fighter. Alright, into the first window, second window, and he's gonna advance to the Jumping Spider, the man from Taiwan. Let's see if he can get through this. Volcanic is through, and into the third ledge. Looking down the fourth ledge, going a bit slow here, so he may want to start picking up the pace if he wants to think about clearing the stage, but he's onto mix and match nevertheless. Into the soccer ball, heading for this. Can he make it through? Come on, Volcanic. Yes, another competitor through mix and match. On out to the warped wall. Does not get up it in one. He's gonna need to get up it soon. Time is against him. Less than 30 seconds left. He's up it, but he's taking his time going into the swing bridge. This is not gonna help him on time. He needs to hustle if he wants to clear. Come on, Volcanic. He's into the Tarzan Jumps. Oh no! Volcanic, he slips off the first rope of the Tarzan Jumps. That is a shame. Let's see what went wrong. Volcanic, yeah, it looked like he had a good mount. Looked like he had it, but it looked like he moved too much, and that cost him. Volcanic Crowd, a painful failure on the Tarzan Jumps. Alright, let's see if our next competitor, Soul Reaper 1025, can pull through. This guy's been around for a long time, since the days of Halo Reach, and now making his third appearance on Spartan Sasuke. He's had a bit of a more recent debut on this course, dating back to Tournament 16. Now Soul Reaper heading into the butterfly wall. Nicely through onto the TIE Fighter. Heading into the first window. Second window. Now for the Jumping Spider. He has struggled with this obstacle in the past. Will he be able to conquer it this time? Alright, good work so far. Needs to get through the rest of the obstacle though. Come on, Soul. Alright, into the fourth ledge. Fifth ledge. Soul Reaper. He's nicely through onto mix and match, who just lands late on that pallet, but that's not gonna matter as he advances to the warped wall nicely. Alright, Soul up it in one nicely. He's in a shot of clearing as well. He just needs to get through the Kudari swing bridge and hopefully not make the same mistake as Volcanic Crowd. Oh no, he does! Soul Reaper out on the Tarzan Jumps as well. Let's look at the replay. It looked like he didn't even get a crouch at all. He did not! Bit of another mistake there. A simple one. Custom stage 1 victory. Alright, next up, Killer the Man making his 12th appearance in a row. And there's Hunter Unit shooting him with a needler of all weapons. Anyways, Killer the Man has had a bit of a bad luck when it comes to this course. Has yet to clear stage 1 when he's made it to stage 3 on the other courses. However, Killer the Man, will he be able to pull through? We saw someone like Jonte get through stage 1 earlier. Hopefully Killer the Man can do the same on his 12th appearance. Oh no, he's out already! He fails to dismount on the butterfly wall. That is shocking! Another early exit for Killer the Man. That is a shame. Alright, let's hope Z-Master can do better. Yeah, still a bit of a shock. I thought he would have gotten much further on the stage, but Killer the Man out on the butterfly wall, and here is Z-Master on that obstacle now. Can he make it through? Yes, he does. Z-Master heading into the TIE Fighter. Making his 3rd appearance, made his debut back in Tournament 17, and has put on pretty good performances on Spartan Sasuke so far, but will he be able to make it 3rd time's the charm on stage 1? Z-Master doing pretty good so far. Looking for the dismount. Z-Master heading into the mix and match. He beat this obstacle last tournament. Hopefully it won't be any issues for him. And it is not. Z-Master onto the warp wall. He's got plenty of time in hand. He just needs to make sure he can get up the warp wall, which he has. Up it in 1. And nicely into the Kudari swing bridge. Heading for the 3rd ball. 4th ball. Z-Master. Will he be able to avenge Volcanic Crowd and Soul Reaper on this obstacle? One more rope left to go. He's got it. Z-Master on his way to clearing stage 1. Hopefully it will be 3rd time's the charm. Still got a few more jumps left to go. 2 more. 1 more. Come on, Z-Master. Klaxon sounding, and he clears with 9.6 seconds left on the clock. 3rd time's the charm for Z-Master. Moving on to the 2nd stage. Nicely done. The British competitor moving on to the 2nd stage. He was able to avenge Killer the Man's fail on the butterfly wall, as well as Volcanic Crowd and Soul Reaper on the Tarzan Jumps. And Z-Master becomes the 6th competitor this tournament to advance to the 3rd stage. The 2nd stage, sorry. Well done, Z-Master. Time for our next fast forward to step 11. Goes out on the butterfly wall. Followed by Surdiel, L, takes the L on the Law Jam. J. Robert SC goes out on the jumping spider. That was followed by H. Ladder. Another Law Jam fail, a painful one at that. And finally, Break Dreams had his dreams broken by the Law Jam. That is 80 runs so far, and 6 people have moved through. Now we move on to the last 20 competitors of this first stage on Halo 5, beginning with this man. Kicking off the final 20 runs is the young kid Sonic Fan. This is only his 3rd appearance on the course, but he's already making a big impact. In his Tournament 17 debut, he failed the jumping spider wearing number 1 the run order, and his big claim to fame came in the last tournament, where he would not just clear stage 1 for his first time, but would do so at the 2nd fastest time in that tournament. On the 2nd stage, however, like many, his downfall would be met at the double salmon ladder. Having cleared stage 1 in the last tournament must be putting pressure on him to do good in this tournament. At such a young age, he does have a bit of expectations, but can he pull through and secure another victory on stage 1? He has a lot of skill going into this tournament, put in a lot of practice, lots of morale too. Sonic Fan making it through the butterfly wall into the TIE Fighter. This obstacle, no issues for him last tournament. Let's see if he could do the same here on the TIE Fighter this time. Yes, he does onto the jumping spider where he failed in his debut. Bit of lag, but able to make it into the jumping spider. Going quickly through this obstacle, not wasting any time at all. Sonic Fan loves to go fast, as his gamer tag suggests. Alright. Doing pretty good here on mix and match. Bit of more lag as he dismounts from the obstacle, heading into the warp wall. Ooh, not able to get up it in one. Sonic Fan not able to get up it in two. Come on, man. He's got to get up it soon if he wants to have enough time, which he does. Into the Kudari swing bridge. Second ball. Third ball. Fourth ball. Sonic Fan through another obstacle. Sonic into the Tarzan Jumps, looking for his second stage 1 clear in a row, and it's looking like he's gonna get through it, but he's only got 12 seconds left though. He just needs to keep up a good pace on this last obstacle. Looks like he's gonna do it. Sonic Fan, second time in a row, moving on to stage 2 with 5.1 seconds left on the clock. Sonic Fan 10193, advancing to the second stage this tournament. Well done, Sonic Fan. Congratulations on only his third appearance. Has already defeated the first stage for his second time. He did have a bit of struggles with the warp wall, but it didn't matter as he was able to get up it when it mattered most, and he'll be advancing to the second stage once again. Congratulations, Sonic Fan. The next competitor to run is Wolf Ninja 1225. He made his debut in Tournament 9 and has competed in each tournament since. Although he wasn't able to gain notoriety in his first 4 runs, he came back strong in Tournament 13 and sent a message to everyone in the jumping community that he was here to compete by clearing the first stage. In that tournament, he went out on the salmon ladder. His next clear wouldn't come until Tournament 17 after failing the first stage a few more times. He struggled to get up the double salmon ladder on stage 2 and would eventually plummet to the drain. And the last tournament was no different as he failed the same obstacle in back-to-back tournaments. The salmon ladder has proven to be his kryptonite on stage 2, but if he wants another rematch with it, he's got to get to the second stage first. So let's see if he can clear the first stage for his third time in a row. Wolf Ninja competed in every tournament since his debut. Alright, into the butterfly wall, an obstacle he's not familiar with, as that obstacle hasn't been seen since Tournament 3. Wolf Ninja familiar with the TIE Fighter though, and the jumping spider. He did fail this in Tournament 16, however. Let's see if Wolf Ninja can get through it again. Alright, almost comes up short going into that third ledge, nearly paid the price, but able to get through the jumping spider nevertheless. On to mix and match, got through it last time. Let's see if he can do it again. Golf ball, pallet, warp wall. Can he get up in one unlike Sonic Fan? No, he cannot. He's gonna have to take another attempt. Wolf Ninja, up and in 2, now eyeing down the Kudari swing bridge, but he comes up short of the first ball, and Wolf Ninja has failed the Kudari swing bridge. His old nemesis in the swing bridge has struck him down once again. Does not get enough momentum to reach the first ball, and he comes crashing down to the water. Bad luck. Making his first appearance since Tournament 8 is the jumping legend Drago is back. He made his Spartan Sasuke debut in the 6th tournament where he failed the jumping spider. In the next tournament, he came very close to clearing the first stage, but suffered a very painful slip-up on the flying chute. And in his latest run 3 years ago in Tournament 8, he couldn't quite make it back to the flying chute when he failed the bounce bridge. Now, after missing 10 whole tournaments, Drago has returned for the final Halo 5 tournament. The question is, does he still have it in him, or will he fail early? Drago, of course, being a legendary competitor on the Xbox 360, reaching the final stage on both Ninja Warrior of Halo and Halo Ninja Warrior, as well as being an all-star in both of those courses. He may be past his prime, but he's gonna try and give it his all here in Spartan Sasuke 19, so let's go Drago! Drago into the butterfly wall, We have seen a few shocking failures on that obstacle, including Killer Demand, but it's not going to phase Drago as he advances to the TIE Fighter, a very unfamiliar obstacle to him, but this one should be. The Jumping Spider, he's faced it many times in the past, he's made it into it, but no, he comes up short of the second ledge, and it's an exact replica of his Tournament 6 failure, his debut failure. Drago, he was able to get into the first ledge nicely, but when going to the second ledge, he couldn't quite get enough momentum, and he comes up short. Bad luck to Drago. Hopefully, we'll see him on Infinite. Next to take on the course, also making his first appearance in a while, is Sane the Legend. His runs date back to Tournament 3, where he was able to find success right off the bat by clearing Stage 1 on his debut. Unfortunately, that would prove to be his only real success on this course, as he hasn't been able to reach the second stage since. Although he came close to clearing in Tournament 5, it still wasn't enough to reach the finish line after putting on a rather mediocre performances in each of the 4 tournaments following. After Tournament 9, he decided to take a break from the course, and his only appearance since then came in Tournament 12, where he failed the music box. Now, as we draw closer to the new era on Halo Infinite, Sane is looking to make a comeback in Halo Jumping after a big string of unsuccess on Halo 5. So let's see if his comeback can begin early here in the final Halo 5 tournament. Sane the Legend making his 9th appearance on the course, making it through the logjam. He's a bit of a more technical jumper, has made quite a few jump maps, including the infamous I forget what it's called. Well, I think you know what it is. I made a video on it. I can't believe I forgot what it was. Master's Fortress. That's what it is. My bad. Anyway, Sane the Legend into the Jumping Spider. He's into it, doing a bit of a sideways approach into it. Anyway, Sane the Legend in the Jumping Spider. He's faced this obstacle many times in the past. Can he get through it again? Doing another sideways jump. Not really necessary, but he's making it through nevertheless. On to mix and match. He hasn't seen an obstacle like this. Come on, Sane. He's into the golf ball, but oh, he jumps too early off the pallet, and he's out on mix and match. He came close, but it's no cigar. He got a good jump going into the golf ball, but just didn't quite have enough momentum to reach the second pallet. He did get a sprint engaged. Bad luck. Next to take on the course is Gotenks. Although he's seen plenty of success on both Halo Ninja Warrior and Ninja Warrior of Halo, on Spartan Sasuke he still hasn't been able to clear the first stage after 12 appearances. The closest he came was in Tournament 13, when he ran out of time at the end of the course. And in each of the previous 3 tournaments he came painfully close to clearing as well, going out on the vehicle swing each time. Tournament 16, he dismounted from the wrong side of the Mongoose. Tournament 17, he fell out of the Mongoose on the pendulum and was disqualified. And in the last tournament, like many, his Mongoose got caught by the middle pole. He was not able to recover, and he had nowhere to go but down. Gotenks is easily one of the most celebrated jumpers in the Halo jumping community. Got a bit of a crowd with him too for his intro. The question is, will 13 be his lucky number? Or will he suffer the agony of going winless in Spartan Sasuke on Halo 5? Hopefully it will not be the latter, but we shall see. Gotenks. It'd be really nice to see him on the second stage. If there's anyone who hasn't cleared the first stage yet going into this tournament, Gotenks is the one competitor who I most want to see advance to the second stage for his first time. So let's see if he can do it. Gotenks into the Jumping Spider. This is where he failed in his debut in Tournament 7. Alright, he's gonna mount into it successfully. Gotenks making quick work of this obstacle. Nicely done. Doesn't screw up the dismount. Gotenks onto mix and match. He's beaten this obstacle last tournament. Not a lot of momentum going into the trampoline, but he's able to get a good jump off of it. Doing a 360 even on that dismount. Alright, Gotenks is not able to get up it in 1. Gotenks can get up the warped wall. Up it in 2. Yes! Come on, Gotenks! The finish line in sight once again. Gotenks, coming close there, but he makes it through onto the Tarzan Jumps. Gets into the first rope, heading to the second rope. He slips off! No! Go Tates! No! He's out for his 13th time in a row. Go Tates has gone winless on Halo 5. That is a heartbreaker. Go Tates was a bit of a close call here on the Kudari swing bridge when he almost came up short of that third golf ball, but it was ultimately the next obstacle, the Tarzan Jumps, that cost him. Let's see what went wrong here. He goes for the jump. Alright, it looks like he just didn't land far enough. Go Tates with another painful stage 1 failure. This one might be one of the worst. Go Tates, after 13 appearances, has failed stage 1 13 times on Halo 5. Better luck to him, Infinite. Making his staggering 17th appearance on the course now is Snoz. He has been competing since Tournament 1 and has only missed 2 tournaments. In Tournament 3, he would see the highest point in his Spartan Sasuke career by clearing stage 1 for his first and only time, going out on the coil dodge in the second stage. Although that tournament would have his only first stage clear, his results has been mixed since. He can either get really far into the first stage, like in Tournament 14 on the Crazy Wall, or even fail the first obstacle, like in Tournament 17. In the last tournament, although he is able to get his revenge on the Solar Steps, his technique on the TIE Fighter was poor and came crashing down with another Stage 1 defeat. Going into this tournament, Snoz wants a change. He's put in more practice into this tournament than any other Spartan Sasuke tournament before. Not only does he want to finish strong on Halo 5, but he wants to go out with a first stage victory. So let's see if the old man can pull it off. Snoz, easily one of the nicest people in this community, always showing his support for all things jumping. That is the true spirit of a Halo jumper, and he's made it to the butterfly wall, onto the TIE Fighter. Time for revenge. Come on, Snoz. Alright, into the first window. Second window does not turn. A little risky, but it pays off. Snoz onto the jumping spider. Failed this 3 tournaments ago. Snoz, along with Patty Freakin, is the creator of the matchmaking map. Ooh, almost comes up short of that 4th ledge, but able to make it through. But as I was trying to say, he was the creator of Pound Town, Ground Pound Arena, along with Patty Freakin. And Snoz making good work of the Mesa match. He was worried about this obstacle, but he's made it through. Now for the warp wall, he has struggled with this in the past. Snoz up it in 1. He has in a real chance, but he comes up short.
Too good of a late jump.
Yeah, you know what it is? I didn't start at the back.
Snoz, it looks like he was gonna make it further. It was a good run, but not good enough to make it through the first stage. Let's see what went wrong. Yeah, he just didn't get enough momentum to get to that first ball. You need a full sprint to reach it. Next to take on the course is the British Roblox kid, Launchshot Arrow 76. Although his jumping career is still young, he's already shown success on this course. In Tournament 15, only he and Double cleared the dreaded rolling jump. And it wasn't too long after that in Tournament 16 where he would clear the first stage and nearly defeat the second stage, but would go out on the last obstacle, the speed log. Last tournament, he was able to get back to the second stage, but would slip up on the hop and swap. Launchshot, one of the very few competitors to have success on both Roblox and Halo. Usually it's one over the other, but Launchshot is the one rare exception to this occasion. I'm sure there's others, but he is one of them. So let's see if he can capitalize and clear stage 1 for his 3rd time. 3rd time in the previous 4 tournaments. Launchshot heading to the butterfly wall. No problems, gets a quick dismount heading into the TIE Fighter. This was no troubles for him last tournament, and it's no troubles today. Launchshot Arrow 76 into the jumping spider. I'm sure he's faced it before on Roblox, but he's making good work of the jumping spider here into the 3rd ledge. 4th ledge, this is where Snoz almost slipped, but Launchshot Arrow taking a bit of a more cautious approach with the later jumps on the jumping spider, and it pays off as he's into mix and match. Good jump into the golf ball, and Launchshot into the warp wall. Plenty of time on hand if he could just get up the warp wall, which he does. Up it in 1. Alright, he's able to get into the first ball, unlike Snoz, able to get more momentum. and he's gonna avenge his failure. Launch out arrow into the Tarzan Jumps. We saw Gotenks painfully go out on this obstacle. He's gonna avenge Gotenks' failure as well. 20 seconds going into the floating orbs. On his way to another first stage victory. Oh, bit of a slip up there. Heading to the 4th ball, 5th ball, 6th ball. He's done it.
Nice. You were faster than me.
Long shot. Long shot says rock. Don't waste my time with 2 attempts. I just need 1. Just stay out of my way.
Congratulations, Launch Shot Arrow 76, clearing the first stage for his 3rd time. Well done. Nicely for the TIE Fighter. It was a smooth run except for the last obstacle, but it was enough to move on to the 2nd stage. Well done, Launch Shot. The next competitor to take on the course, making his 16th appearance, is Siren, aka Chris. His debut came in Tournament 2, where he took his initial success from the Master Chief Collection and put him to good use by clearing the first stage. His next 2 successes came in Tournaments 5 and 10, where he would pick up 2 more first stage clears in those tournaments. It would take a while for Chris to find more success on Spartan Sasuke, but in the last tournament, that success would finally come when he picked up his 4th Stage 1 clear. He's never defeated the 2nd stage, and that would continue to be the case when he failed the double 7 ladder. And now he's back, and what is going on here? A pack of mongooses coming in with what appears to be infinite grenade tossing passengers. This might be one of the most bizarre intros I've ever seen on the course. Just weird. And here comes Chris in a temple ghost.
No, what is it? It's an invader. It's an alien invader.
Oh my god. What the hell?
I have glitched it.
Oh, I'm the monkey. I'm chicken again.
What the
Oh,
hell?
he's
Well then, that just happened. Let's see if he can just concentrate on his run after that. I mean, Chris is known to have pretty crazy intros on not just my course, but all the major courses. But this easily takes the cake for the craziest intro of all time. Quite possibly. Anyways, Chris into the TIE Fighter. I'm still having a hard time recovering after that massive intro. Using a jumping strat going into the jumping spider. Bit different than what we've seen from some of our other competitors, but Chris making it to mix and match. This was no issues for him last tournament. Hopefully it will not be this tournament. Come on, Chris. Got a huge crowd following him. Chris into the warp wall. 42 seconds left to go. Interesting note about his run. Oh, doesn't get up in the 1. Interesting note about his run is that he had to do a bit of an early run due to him moving. He's really struggling with this warp wall right now. Less than 30 seconds. He needs to get up it now, which he has. Come on, Chris. He needs to start picking up the pace if he wants to get another clear. Come on. Teddy did his 2nd clear in a row. He's never had 2 in a row on Spartan Sasuke. Going quickly into the 2nd rope of the Tarzan Jumps. That's going to save him some time, but the klaxon now sounding. 3rd ball, 4th ball, 5th ball, 6th, and he's done it.
Let's go, Chris.
Chris moving back to the 2nd stage for his 2nd time in a row. The glitch weapon still... That's a very interesting glitch, taking effective use of Halo 5's weapon glitch. Definitely a way to go out on the 1st stage. Chris moving on to the 2nd stage for his 5th time. Well done.
Well, in a nutshell, I think that this tournament's going to be cool because when I was practicing, I actually managed to beat it a couple times. And then another little side note, I found this cool rock to stand on for my interview, and yeah, can't wait to see how my run goes.
Next up is the 13-time veteran Could Be Better. Otherwise known as Phil, his biggest achievement in Halo jumping is his total victory in the 19th tournament of Aborigines Warrior. On Spartan Sasuke, he made his debut in the 5th tournament, where he was formerly known as I Game Types and failed the pole maze. Although he nearly cleared stage 1 in Tournament 8, his first success on not just Spartan Sasuke but the Xbox One came in Tournament 9 when he beat the first stage for his first time since the Xbox 360. His best run on Spartan Sasuke came in Tournament 11 when he reached the 3rd stage. After that, he cleared the first stage 3 more times in Tournaments 13, 16, and 18, the previous tournament. But on the 2nd stage, time was against him, and he failed to complete the middle spin. Phil, looking to get back to the 3rd stage for his first time since Tournament 11. Will he be able to do it? He's got to get through stage 1 first. Let's see how he does. Could Be Better into the log jam. Making his way through. He comes up short of the 3rd log! Could Be Better is out on the first obstacle! The log jam has eliminated a rare victim! Could Be Better out on the very first obstacle. That is utterly painful. Let's see what went wrong. Yeah, it looks like he just jumped too early going into the 3rd set of logs. Oh, Could Be Better. I was not expecting that from him. I thought he was going to make it further into the course, but he has fallen on just the first obstacle of stage 1. Not the way he wanted to end Spartan Sasuke on Halo 5, but the log jam eliminating a very rare victim and Could Be Better. From Big Phil to Little Phil, next up is Weapon Matt. Temporarily back from retirement, today he'll be making one last run before moving on from jumping. His first 2 runs on Spartan Sasuke were quite a success when he made it to the 2nd stage both times. Although he struggled to get another clear after that, in Tournament 10 that next clear would finally come. I would follow that up by clearing the first stage in the next 2 tournaments to come, in both Tournaments 11 and 12, where in Tournament 12 he would get to the 3rd stage for his only time on this course, where he went out on the crazy cliffhanger. Unfortunately, after that stage 3 success, he would fail the first stage in his next 4 runs before declaring in his retirement in the 17th tournament, going out on the fishbone in Tournament 15, missed Tournament 16, and in Tournament 17 he would replicate Hunter Unit 751's Tournament 16 failure, where his Mongoose fell off the landing platform of the vehicle swing. Not satisfied with the way he went out 2 tournaments ago, Weapon Matt will be looking to go out in a more fitting way in the final Halo 5 tournament. But first, can he avenge Big Phil and get through the log jam? Weapon Matt, yes he can. On out to the butterfly wall. Ooh, getting a bit of a sideways jump in there. Weapon Matt making his 14th appearance today. Into the TIE Fighter. Gets a late jump off that 2nd window, but it does not matter. Into the Jumpy Spider. That TIE Fighter was not an obstacle he's faced before, but the Jumpy Spider he should be very familiar with. He's defeated it many times in the past. And Weapon Matt is gonna make it through to the mixing match. Another obstacle he's not familiar with, considering he missed last tournament. But Weapon Matt, less than 45 seconds as he enters the warped wall. Ooh, almost gets up in 1, bit of lag there. 2nd attempt, nicely done. Kudari swing bridge. Ooh, a lot of lag here on the Kudari swing bridge. Somehow finding a way to get through it. Now for the Tarzan jumps, looking into the 2nd rope. Nicely mounted. 3rd rope. Nice. Weapon Matt on his final run of Spartan Sasuke is looking like he's gonna advance to the 2nd stage. And that will indeed be the case. 9.4 seconds left on the clock for Weapon Matt. He has cleared the first stage for his 6th time on Spartan Sasuke. Congratulations, Weapon Matt. It was a bit of a weird run here on the Kudari swing bridge. Had a lot of lag. He was kind of all over the place, but I'm sure he didn't see it on his screen, as he was able to smoothly get through it despite the lag. Weapon Matt moving on to the second stage. Congratulations. Before we get to the final 10 runs, let's look at this tournament's Spartan Slayer. This tournament, it goes to the Logjam, the first obstacle. The Logjam has eliminated 22 of the 90 competitors that have taken on the first stage so far. The Logjam is one of the trickiest first obstacles in the course's history, requiring competitors to time their jumps to successfully get from one log to another. For these 22 competitors, that was just simply too much to handle, and they came crashing down from either jumping too early, not having enough momentum, or just simply not jumping. Although this is not nearly as many failures compared to the 38 we had on the Solar Steps last tournament, 22 is still a very high number of first obstacle failures. The most shocking failure thus far coming from the veteran could be better. Better luck to these 22 Spartans in the future. And now, we're getting close to the end of stage 1. 10 runs left to go. These are the best of the best. And catching off the final 10 is Atlantic Champ.
This is an interesting tournament because there's a lot going on right now. It's the last one. I want to do really good, and I think I can do really good this tournament, unlike the other tournaments where I surprised myself. This tournament, if I can get through stage 1 and 2, you might see a solid chance of me climbing the tower. So, I'm pumped, but at the same time, there's a lot of pressure, so we'll see what happens.
Kicking off the final 10 stage 1 runs on Halo 5 is the veteran Atlantic Champ. He made his debut in Tournament 5 and would clear stage 1 for his first time in the 7th tournament, where he would go out on the Skywalk in the second stage. His next success wouldn't come until Tournament 13, where he failed the Fusion Slider, and in the tournament following, he would take his success one step further by being the only competitor to reach the 3rd stage in that tournament, going out on the Lunatic Cliffhanger. He would get back to the 3rd stage in the previous 2 tournaments, both times going out on the Lunatic Cliffhanger. In the last tournament, he would replicate his Tournament 14 failure by going out on the 5th ledge. Atlantic Champ has risen to be one of the top veterans on this course, but today he is looking to take his success even further. He is aiming to reach the final stage, a stage which hasn't been attempted in 2 years. Let's see if he can follow up on his goal. Atlantic Champ. Got a pretty decently sized crowd following him. Bit of lag going into the butterfly wall, but that's not going to affect him. Atlantic Champ moving on to the TIE Fighter. His own obstacle. He's had it on his own small course many times. He should be very familiar with that. On out to the Jumping Spider. Atlantic Champ, he's able to mount into it. Atlantic Champ has never failed the Jumping Spider on Spartan Sasuke before, and that will continue to be the case here in Tournament 19. On out to mid to match. Alright, nicely into the soccer ball. Nicely into the golf ball as well. Through mid to match, on out to the warped wall. Plenty time in hand. Atlantic up it in one. A man on a mission into the Kudari swing bridge. Gets into the 3rd ball. 4th ball. Going into this tournament, Atlantic's had a 50-50 clear rate on stage 1. Look at him full sending the Tarzan jumps. But yeah, he had a 50-50 clear rate going into this tournament, and looks like he's gonna end up on the positive side, clearing with a very fast time. 18.8 seconds left on the clock. That is a veteran right there. Atlantic Champ becoming the 11th competitor this tournament to advance to the 2nd stage. It was a very smooth run all throughout. Atlantic Champ making veteran moves here. Last tournament, he had that crazy move on the Pokeball. That was not here this tournament, but he'll be moving on to the 2nd stage once again.
The last Halo 5 tournament, there's definitely high expectations. Hopefully I can go out with a bang and have a terrific run.
The next competitor to take on the course is the veteran Mighty Max 80. Mighty War number 1 in the run order in his Tournament 7 debut and managed to get all the way to the flying chute. Throughout his previous 12 runs, he has cleared the first stage 6 times, beginning in Tournament 11, and has cleared the second stage 3 of those 6 times. In Tournament 13, his first time getting the third stage, failing the floating boards. One of these stage 2 clears came in Tournament 17, where he barely scraped by with just 5/100ths of a second left on the clock, and later on the third stage would go out on the Planet Bridge. Last tournament, he got his revenge on the Planet Bridge and shocked everyone by defeating the Cliffhanger on his very first attempt at one, but the celebrations were cut short on just the very next obstacle, the Curtain Clean Kai. Mighty Max looking for clear number 7 and his 4th in a row if he can make it to the finish line on stage 1. Be really nice for him to get on the plus side of his 50-50 clear rate. We just saw Untitled Champ do it. Let's see if Mighty Max can do the same. Mighty Max, the last of the veterans to take on the course's tournament before our 8 All-Stars. Really looking forward to that, but now Mighty Max 80. Nicely for the TIE Fighter. This is a guy who puts in lots of practice every tournament, looking to get far in each and every one. Mighty Max 80 into the Jumping Spider. An obstacle he has failed before back in Tournament 8, but no problems this time. Mix and match, soccer ball, bouncer, golf ball, yes! Mighty Max heading toward the warped wall. Alright, he's gonna take a walking approach. Easily up it in one. Kudari swing bridge. Second ball. Third ball. Fourth. 2 obstacles left to go. Tarzan jumps now. Mighty Max on a hot streak here on Spartan Sasuke. Doing a bit of a safe jump there. Not wanting to slip up on these ropes, but Mighty Max plenty of time. 20 seconds into the floating orbs. Mighty Max, oh, he slips down, able to save himself though. And looking to the 5th orb, 6th orb, and 9.3 seconds left on the clock. Mighty Max 80 advancing to the second stage for his 7th time on Spartan Sasuke on the 50-50 plus side of his clear rate. Well done, Mighty Max 80. He had a pretty smooth run all throughout. Good technique on the warped wall. Although he had a bit of a slip up on the floating orbs, he was able to recover to advance to stage 2 once again. Well done, Mighty Max 80.
I'm going into it pretty nice and relaxed. You know, we've had this whole pandemic, so I've had a lot of time to practice and chill and jump. So I've gotten back into the jumping groove, and I feel like I'm just gonna have some fun with it, and I think I have a good chance of clearing. The only obstacle I'm really worried about is the spinning ball obstacle thing after the warp ball, but I feel good.
The first of the All-Stars to do a run this tournament back from retirement is Alpha Puma. Puma showed lots of success in his first 4 tournaments of Spartan Sasuke, which earned him the rank of All-Star, being one of the original 5 to earn the rank. But once he became an All-Star, his results dwindled, failing stage 1 much more frequently. In Tournament 5, he failed the column ladder, and in his first 10 tournaments as an All-Star, he would have cleared the first stage twice. In Tournament 7, he would finally clear the first stage again, where he got to the cycle road, and in Tournament 11, he cleared again, where he failed early on the second stage, going out on the salmon ladder. Since then, it was downhill from there. Tournament 12, he failed the double pendulum, and another one of his first stage failures came in Tournament 14, where he would go out on just the second obstacle of stage 1, the hazard bar. This failure, along with being demoted to veteran due to his poor results, put Puma's morale at an all-time low, and thus in Tournament 16, he declared his retirement from Spartan Sasuke. But he would not go out without a bang. On what was at the time his final run, he managed to reach the third stage, and would end his 16 appearance career on the Sidewinder. But now, after a 1-year break from the course, Alpha Puma... Oh, Patrol just died there. I'm sure he'll be fine. Anyways, Alpha Puma has returned with newfound momentum and has been re-promoted to All-Star. This tournament is a big chance for him to truly make a comeback. Let's see if he can make it happen. Alpha Puma heading into the butterfly wall. He has failed the hazard bar, a similar obstacle like this, but not gonna make the same mistake. Alpha Puma into the TIE Fighter. He has not faced this obstacle before, No troubles for him whatsoever as he enters the jumping spider. Oh, looks like he's gonna Bumpay it like he did 3 tournaments ago. Some things never change, I guess. Anyways, Alpha Puma through the jumping spider onto more unfamiliar territory to him, the mix and match. Alright, nearing the end of the obstacle. Good technique from Alpha Puma into the warp wall. 45 seconds left to go. Alpha Puma up and in one. Kudari swing bridge. He's faced the original swing bridge many times in the past. Will he be able to get through the Kudari version? He will. Tarzan jumps now into the first rope. Second rope, going straight for the third rope. And Alpha Puma at a very fast pace too. He's already got 20 seconds left. He's gonna clear with 20 seconds flat. Alpha Puma becoming the 13th competitor this tournament to clear the first stage, and we have tied the first stage clear record once again with 13. The record was originally set back in Tournament 3, and last tournament we tied it for the first time since then. Now it has been tied again, and with 7 runs left to go, we have a big chance to set a new record on the first stage. Let's see how our next few competitors do.
I'm feeling pretty good. It's, the 19th tournament, the last one on Halo 5. I think I'd said in the announcement video, it's a shame we couldn't get to 20 tournaments for it to be the last one, but hey, we got to 19. Pretty big milestone to have, since this has been going on since pretty much the beginning of Halo 5. Hopefully I can get my 9th stage 1 clear today. It's a shame it couldn't be 10, but hey, let's see if we can go for number 9.
The next All-Star to take on the course this tournament is the host of Ninja Warrior of Halo and one of my biggest inspirations, Hunter Unit 751. Hunter has been competing since the first tournament, and his success was apparent right off the bat. Although he couldn't seem to defeat the second stage in the first 3 tournaments, going out on the cliffhanger in Tournament 3, in Tournament 4, he finally turned the tables and was able to pull through, not only getting to the 3rd stage, but getting really deep into the final Mondu stage, ironically going out on his own obstacle, the Mondu Slider, which was called the final track on Spartan Sasuke. His next 3rd stage run would have to wait until Tournament 8, where he failed the Rocket Bar's Kai. After that, he took a 1-year break from the course before making his return in Tournament 13, only to put on his worst result to date, failing the 5th obstacle, the Double Pendulum. In Tournament 16, he got very close to returning to the first stage finish line, but would go out with a classic style failure on the vehicle swing. Fortunately, he was able to make up for it in Tournament 17, and would even get to the 3rd stage in that tournament, going out on the Planet Bridge. Although he was able to clear Stage 1 for the 2nd time in a row last tournament, the 2nd stage would claim victory against him when he shockingly failed to transfer on the Double Salmon Ladder. Hunter is now back for his 14th appearance on the course, and he's got a big crowd with him, including fellow British All-Star Strafe Helix, who will be running later. Hunter, also famous for his 19 clear streak on Smoky Massacre's course, similar to The Undertaker in WrestleMania. And now here we go. One of the most influential people in the Halo jumping community is now on the course. Hunter started his course back in Halo 3, Ninja Warrior Halo, now 10 years old. Although It's My Yard was the one that started jumping with Spartan Warrior, it was ultimately Hunter who popularized it and kept the momentum of jumping going after Spartan Warrior's cancellations. It's hard to know where I and basically all the Halo jumping community would be today without Hunter's contributions. I cannot thank you enough, Hunter. Let's hope you end Halo 5 with a bang. And as I said all that, he's already made it to the jumping spider. Heading near the end of the obstacle, Hunter Unit through the jumping spider onto mix and match. 50 seconds left as he heads through the football, as they call it in Britland. And now he's defeating mix and match once again. Hunter Unit 751 into the warp wall. He's defeated plenty of these in the past, but not able to get up this 1-1. Come on, Hunter. He's up it in 2. Kudari swing bridge. He hasn't had too much experience with the original swing bridge, considering he missed out on most of Season 3, but Hunter's going to get through the Kudari version into the Tarzan Jumps. gets a nice mount into the second rope, into the third rope. 15 seconds left going into the floating orb. Should be enough time as long as he just doesn't make a simple mistake. And he's not. Hunter Unit 751 is gonna break the all-time Stage 1 clear record. We now have 14 clears for the first time in the history of Spartan Sasuke. Hunter Unit 751, ironically, was not only the 14th person to do it in the run order, but he was the 14th person in filming to do it as well. A bit of fun fact for you there. But anyways, Hunter Unit, it was a very good run all throughout. And once again, he'll be advancing to the second stage for his 9th time.
I don't usually say this, but I'm actually feeling pretty good. I mean, I've put in a lot of practice for this tournament, and when I mean a lot, I really, really mean a lot. I've basically drilled the first 3 stages into my head. I think I should do at least pretty well.
Our next all-star to go is Flamosaurus. Flame has been around since the very beginning and would strike early success in the third tournament by getting deep into the second stage. After that, he wouldn't compete again until Tournament 7, where it felt like he hadn't been away at all when he reached the third stage for his first time, going out on the ultimate cliffhanger. Although he would suffer a shocking failure on the circle slider the following tournament, what would follow is one of the most impressive first stage clear streaks. He would go on to become one of only 2 competitors to defeat the first stage on every Season 3 course, that of course being tournaments 9 through 13, and it's this consistency that led him to becoming an all-star. After that, though, he would put on his worst performance in Tournament 14, going out on the Dragon Glider, and in Tournament 15, he would be only one of 3 competitors to mount the Cardonet portion of the rolling jump, only to come up short of completing the obstacle. But after that, it was back to success, where in the previous 3 tournaments, he would reach the third stage each time. The first 2 going out on the Lunatic Cliffhanger, but in the last tournament, he wouldn't even reach the cliffhanger when he shockingly failed the Planet Bridge. Flamosaurus, Mr. Consistency, going for clear number 11 on Spartan Sasuke Stage 1. Talk about a guy with dedication. I've seen him in person, I've seen it for myself. When I say he's been around since the very beginning, I literally mean it. This is the same guy when I first announced Spartan Sasuke at the beginning of 2016, that was the first to comment on my video to sign up for the first tournament. You cannot go further back than that. And now here in Tournament 19, he has put in loads of practice for this tournament. More practice than I've probably seen out of anyone in the history of Spartan Sasuke. Every day for 2 weeks leading up to the tournament, he would put in at least 100 practice attempts per stage per day. Will it pay off? It is so far on the first 4 obstacles. Will it pay off on the remaining 5? Into mix and match. Flamosaurus, 50 seconds left going into the bouncer. Good work of the mix and match into the warp wall. He's faced many of these in the past. This one should be no problem for him, and of course it's not. He's up it in 1. Kudari swing bridge. He's very familiar with the old swing bridge, and he's gonna make it through the Kudari version. Tarzan jumps. Now it's in the first rope, second rope, third rope. Flamosaurus, very good pace going into the floating orbs. And here he is, making it 11 Stage 1 clears in his career, 15.7 seconds left on the clock, and he is the 15th competitor this tournament to clear the first stage. We're on a very strong string of success, and if this keeps up, we could very well see up to 20 clears on the first stage with 5 competitors left to go. And Flamosaurus has paved the way to that possibility. And now Flamosaurus will prepare himself for the second stage once again.
12 tournaments since I was on the final stage. Man, it's been a long time. I don't even know how many years it's been, but if I'm going to want to make to the final stage for my second and final time on Halo 5, it's going to have to be a good tournament. So let's get going.
5 competitors left to go. Next up is Strafe Helix. The Brit formerly known as Vulcan 1610 made his debut in the 4th tournament and has competed in every tournament since. Although he couldn't defeat Stage 1 in his first 3 runs, in Tournament 7 he pulled off a Cinderella story. Not only did he defeat both the first and second stages, but he also defeated the 3rd stage and became one of only 6 different competitors on Spartan Sasuke to reach the final stage. In Tournament 8, he proved that his previous run was no fluke and made it all the way to the pipe slider before slipping off. His next 3rd stage run would have to wait a few more tournaments. In both tournaments 10 and 11 and 12, sorry, not 10, he slipped off the next last goal on the Devil Steps. In Tournament 13, he got his revenge on the Devil Steps and made it deep into the 3rd stage once again. In Tournament 16, after failing Stage 1 in the previous 2 tournaments, he pulled out another deep 3rd stage run by reaching the Devil Swing. Going into Tournament 17, he was promoted to All-Star, although his first outing as an All-Star didn't quite go according to plan. But in the last tournament, he made up for that failure when he reached the hang climb on the 3rd stage. Strafe Helix really wants to get back to the final stage of this tournament. I know I say that almost every tournament, but I truly mean it this time. After getting pretty far in the 3rd stage last time. But like I said before, he's gotta get through Stage 1 first. He's failed this Stage 3 of the previous 5 tournaments. Let's see if he can clear Stage 1 for his 2nd time in a row. Strafe Helix nicely for the first 2 obstacles quickly as well. Into the TIE Fighter, first window, second window, Strafe Helix. Onto the Jumping Spider. He began his jumping career back on Halo 4, but has seen success even clearing Stage 1 in Halo Ninja Warrior 12. But it's really here on Halo 5 that he's made a true name for himself. And although he wasn't well liked in his early days, like Strafe Helix has risen to be one of the top competitors on this course. Although he's not able to get up the warp wall in 1, he's gonna have to give it another attempt. He is successful this time. Swing bridge, he has failed the normal swing bridge back in Tournament 9. That was actually his personal worst on this course. And this past failure will not come back to haunt him. Strafe Helix full sending the Tarzan Jumps nicely through into the floating orbs, and it looks like we're gonna have 7 Stage 1 clears in a row in the run order. Ooh, slips up going into that 5th orb. That's not gonna matter though. Strafe Helix, 11.8 seconds left on the clock. 16 people so far moving on to the 2nd stage, and Strafe Helix has done it once again. Well done to Strafe Helix. He's had lots of success here on Spartan Sasuke especially, and he put his past experience to good use. Strafe Helix, the British All-Star, he had a bit of a slip up here going to the 5th orb of the floating orbs, but he was able to pull through to clear once again. Well done, Strafe Helix.
Well, next up is Sauron Sucks.
Back from the depths of Midoriyama is the Spartan Sasuke legend Swantron 97. When he first arrived in Tournament 1, he was going in as a nobody, but after then everyone knew his name. He is the first competitor to ever clear Stage 1 on Spartan Sasuke, and his success would continue toward a 3rd stage run in the 3rd tournament. In Tournament 4, Swan went in with extremely high expectations and would fail just the first obstacle, the floating steps. But he would not admit defeat. He would not be denied. He would then put on the longest Stage 1 clear streak in the course's history with 9 in a row. One of these clears came in Tournament 6, where he was the only competitor in that tournament to clear the 1st stage. And it wouldn't be too long after where he would see himself back on the 3rd stage the tournament following, going out on the ultimate cliffhanger. In Tournament 8, he was promoted to All-Star and he nearly defeated the 3rd stage, but fell victim to the final jump of the new pipe slider. After that, Swan would continue his reign of dominance. Season 3 would prove to be his highest point in his jumping career, reaching the 3rd stage in 4 of the season's 5 tournaments. And it all accumulated in Tournament 13 when he put on his best run ever, where at long last, he reached his goal of making it to the final stage. Although he came up short of achieving total victory, from that point it seemed that nothing could stop him. Until it did. Due to real-life complications, Swan declared his retirement in the 15th tournament and failed the first stage for only his second time. Now let's hear from Swan about his grand return.
Yeah, dude, I went on an expedition through the Swedish Alps, just trying to find my inner peace, trying to really come to grips with who I was as a man, as a person. I'm not a young little child anymore. And now it's time for me to get back to the show and hop on to this course and probably fall right off the second obstacle or whatever. We'll see, dude.
Swantron 97, the uncrowned king of Spartan Sasuke. Long ago, he made a prophecy that he would achieve total victory in the 19th tournament. Whether he still believes in that prophecy or not, this is indeed Tournament 19. Who knew back then we'd still be on Halo 5 today? But nevertheless, we are less than 4 days from seeing gameplay of Halo Infinite at the time of this premiering. We're nearly there, guys, just hang in there. But enough rambling about Halo Infinite, let's see how Swan does. Alright, he does get through the second obstacle despite what he said in his interview. He's on to the TIE Fighter. Making good work of that. He's never attempted that obstacle before. But onto very familiar territory with the jumping spider. It's been a while since he's last attempted this obstacle, but he's making very good work of this. Swan, no threats by the jumping spider into mix and match. More unfamiliar territory for him. Swan making it count here on mix and match. Look at him go. Swan, it looks like he hadn't been away at all. He's onto the warped wall. Up and in one, no problems. Kudari swing bridge. He's into the second ball, third ball, fourth ball, and he's through. Swan, the king of the first stage. Oh, he jumps back on the Tarzan Jumps. Did not feel comfortable with that mount. He's able to get into it this time. 20 seconds left, still got plenty of time. He's got a full send into the floating orbs. Nicely done. Swan, he's slipping. No, Swan is out on the floating orbs. The last obstacle has eliminated him! Swan has failed stage 1 for only the 3rd time in his career, and is at the very end of the stage going out on the floating orbs! No! Swan! Oh, that would have been so amazing if we saw him back on the second stage after being away for so long, but it was all for naught as he would painfully go out on the final obstacle, the floating orbs. Going into the third orb, he did not get a good jump and he came crashing back to the flood of Midoriyama. Swan, it is heartbreaking to see him go out like that. And the way he just slips down each of those orbs like that makes it even more painful. Adds insult to injury. Swantron 97 out on the floating orbs. He nearly made it a miracle in this tournament, but sadly it was not meant to be, and he fails the floating orbs. Bad luck to Swan.
I'm Fireball. Anything can happen. I can come out here and make it to the final stage, or I can come out here and fill the first obstacle. We'll see how it goes. I feel pretty good, surprisingly. My 16 minutes of practice, I feel like I have a good chance of beating stage 1. Will I beat stage 1? Who knows? I'll find out when I do my run.
Only 3 competitors left. Next up, DC Fireball. Fireball is one of only 2 people to compete in every Halo 5 tournament of Spartan Sasuke. In the inaugural tournament, he made it further than any other competitor. In Tournament 4, he would get back to the 3rd stage and became one of the original 5 All-Stars. But when he became an All-Star, it seemed like he was cursed when he failed the first stage 3 tournaments in a row. Tournament 5, he failed the Ghost Ramp, and in both Tournament 6 and 7, he would go out on the Flying Chute both times, both in the same way. But at last, in Tournament 8, he got back on track when he finally got another first stage clear. And not only that, he would make it to the final stage that tournament along with Smoky Massacre. After that though, Fireball would struggle once again for the next 2 tournaments before clearing again in Tournament 11 where he failed the final jump of the Pipe Slider. Only he and Atlantic Champ have defeated the first stage in 4 of the previous 5 tournaments. The previous 3 seen him get past the lunatic cliffhanger each time, but would fail the vertical limits 2 tournaments in a row. In the last tournament, he would fail its replacement, the Curtain Clean Kai. Sometimes it can be hard to compare Halo jumpers to other Sasuke competitors, but when it comes to this course, he is without a shadow of a doubt the Shindo Yamamoto of Spartan Sasuke. Shindo, of course, competed in every single Sasuke tournament, and Fireball has competed in every Halo 5 tournament of Spartan Sasuke. Going into this tournament, though, he hasn't put in a lot of practice, so will that affect him? It has in the past, hopefully not today. DC Fireball has made it for the first obstacle at least, unlike some other competitors like Phil. Fireball onto the butterfly wall, no problems there whatsoever. He's faced that obstacle in the past in both tournaments 2 and 3. Through the TIE Fighter once again, Fireball into the Jumping Spider. Fireball made it into the Jumping Spider. This obstacle has never been an issue for him in the past, and that will continue to be the case here. Fireball into Mix and Match, into the soccer ball, heading into the trampoline, into the golf ball. No! Fireball is out of Mix and Match! Fireball has failed the first stage! That is painful! DSG Fireball, for the first time since Tournament 15, is out on just the first stage! On a rare Stage 1 victory, he overshot the trampoline and did not get enough momentum going into the golf ball. We have to hear from him now.
No, I got a rough start in the obstacle. Didn't do my normal technique, got screwed up, and just had way too much momentum and overshot it. It always sucks failing stage 1. Like, it hurts. If you're a jumper, you know, doesn't feel good failing stage 1. But new game, new me, I'm coming out strong. Catch me in Infinite.
Fireball ending Halo 5 with a shocking failure on Mix and Match.
Can't believe 19 tournaments all in one game. You know, I think I was able to host 5 or 6 maybe by the time Halo 5 is over. We'll see what happens. But the fact that you got 19 tournaments in on this one game is very impressive, and I'm definitely glad I could be a part of every single one of them. Obviously, there's been some highs and some lows, but this is obviously a very special tournament, and I really want to put my best foot forward for this one and at least get back to Stage 3. But you know, with some of the Stage 1 failures we've seen, I know that I'm definitely going to have my head on straight for this stage. So I'm going to give it my best shot, and hopefully we can end on a very high note here on Halo 5.
The next to last competitor to take on the first stage on Halo 5 is the 2-time Grand Champion and host of Halo Ninja Warrior, Smokey Massacre. Like DHG Fireball, he has competed in every tournament of Spartan Sasuke and is one of the original 5 All-Stars crowned in Tournament 5. After Tournament 5, he suffered 2 very shocking failures in a row on the half-pipe attack and the jumping spider respectively. But in Tournament 8, he came back with business, and he achieved total victory with 0.96 seconds remaining on the clock. That would be just the beginning of a long streak of utter domination. He would get first place in each of the following 3 tournaments, 9, 10, and 11, getting further on the course each time. In Tournament 12, he became the 500th ever runner at the first stage, but was shockingly failed the double pendulum. That was tis but a scratch compared to what he would do to the course in Tournament 13. In that tournament, he achieved a 2nd total victory on the same course, a feat that has never occurred before nor since. But sadly, things would begin to go downhill when he failed the first stage in the following 2 tournaments and failed the 2nd stage for his first time ever in Tournament 16. He has begun to make a turnaround in the previous 2 tournaments, but would not make it deep into the 3rd stage. In the last tournament, after making a legendary save on the Sidewinder, he failed a cliffhanger for his first time on a major course. And now, we've got another crowded intro. Soul Reaper's there, Snoz is there, Atlantic and Hunter are up there. Both of them cleared the first stage earlier. Can Smokey follow in their first steps? Can he get his 13th Stage 1 clear and break the record for most clears on the first stage by a single competitor. Smokey getting his final good luck before a big run. Here we go. The host of Halo Ninja Warrior is on the course. Smokey Massacre, 19 appearances. I know it's hard competing 19 tournaments considering he's in the military, but Smokey making good work of the early obstacles so far, making it for the TIE Fighter as well. Now for the Jumping Spider, he did fail this back in Tournament 7. Hopefully it will not be any issues for him today. Ooh, almost comes up short there. He actually was a little worried about the Jumping Spider going into this tournament, believe it or not. But no worries whatsoever. He's on to mix and match. He had a bit of a close call on this obstacle last tournament. No problems this time though. Smokey, 45 seconds going into the warped wall. Looking to get up it in one, which he's done successfully. Kudari swing bridge. He's faced many swing bridges in the past, but hasn't seen the Kudari swing bridge before. No problems here again. Full sending the Tarzan Jumps. Smokey at a very quick pace, looking to get the fastest time this tournament. Smokey going very quick, and it looks like he is gonna get it. 21.3 seconds left on the clock. That is indeed the fastest time on the first stage so far. Becomes the 17th competitor this tournament to clear. And with his 13th Stage 1 clear on Halo 5 means that he has broken the record for most Stage 1 clears by a competitor. Congratulations, Smokey Massacre. Well done to ya. He'll be moving on to the second stage. We have one competitor left to go. Let's see how Mr. 1000 is feeling going into this tournament.
Well, it certainly adds a lot of pressure, so hopefully I can just hit all my marks and get through this first stage here.
Who's next? Double. What is it? UMP, double UMP. Either way, it's a stupid name.
The final competitor to take on Stage 1 on Halo 5 is Double Ump.
21 seconds on the clock. Is on the super jump, the final obstacle. Stage 2, has he made it? Yes, he has. He has advanced. Let's see that in slow motion. 16.39 seconds to go. He has advanced to Stage 3, the first time we've seen it.
Double Ump has the longest history of anyone in the Halo jumping community. And when it came time for Halo 5, he took his experience into Spartan Sasuke. His first Stage 1 clear came in the second tournament, and it wouldn't be too long before we saw him on the final stage. He came up short in Tournament 3, but in Tournament 4, his name was forever submitted into the history books when he became the first Grand Champion of Spartan Sasuke, doing so with just 0.3 of a second left on the clock. After his T4 success, he would go on a dominating spree. Even when he failed Stage 1 in Tournament 6, he still made it the furthest of those that failed this stage that tournament. One tournament later, he found himself at the crossroads of history once again, but didn't quite seal the deal when he came up one jump short of achieving a second total victory. As if that final stage run wasn't enough, 6 tournaments later, he once again made it to the final stage for a 4th time. This time around, he made it to the top of the tower, but painfully, he was a half second out of the time limit, and once again, total victory was denied. He missed Tournament 14 and then came back for Tournament 15, where he placed first in the tournament that ended on Stage 1. In Tournament 16, he made it back to the last obstacle of the 3rd stage, but couldn't quite reach his 5th final stage. Tournament 17, he failed the metal spin on Stage 2, and in the last tournament, he once again failed the pinch climb, prompting one of my loudest ever reactions.
No! No! I'm not again!
It now comes down to this. All 999 first stage runs before him have led to this moment. The man who has seen more success than anyone this season has earned the right to be Mr. 1000. There's a sign in the background that says Halo Olympics. That is something he's planning on hosting in August. But right now, he's got a big run in front of him. The final ever first stage run on Halo 5 is about to begin. Mr. 1000, Double Ump, is on the course. His run of history has begun. Double Ump making his way through the log jam. He's through that and now on his way to the butterfly wall. Can he get through this? Going for the dismount. And he's... Oh my god! What just happened? He's out on the butterfly wall! The second obstacle and he's already out! This might be the most shocking failure in the history of Spartan Sasuke. Double the final stage 1 competitor on Halo 5. His run is over? I cannot believe what just happened. Let's see what went down. When he landed on the butterfly wall, he lost his momentum when he crouched, and I guess he wasn't expecting that to happen. And so when he goes for the dismount, he doesn't have enough momentum to make the jump. That is utterly heartbreaking. Heartbreaking for him. Heartbreaking for me. Heartbreaking for everyone watching. Is furious about his failure. He has every right to be mad. I would be if I was him. But that is how it goes sometimes, and he's got to move on because there's always a next time, whether he wants to admit it or not. And what has been the most successful first stage in Spartan Sasuke history ends on a very sour note on the butterfly wall. But nevertheless, we have 17 competitors carrying this tournament forward. Patrollo Fam 4, Killamanoodle, Ninja Warrior 718, Crown Ferret 19, Crimson Ghost 360, Z Master, Sonic Fan, Longshot Arrow 76, Siren, Weapon Mat, Atlantic Champ, Mighty Max 80, Alpha Puma, Hunter Unit 751, Flamosaurus, Strafe Helix, and Smoky Massacre are the 17 victors of Tournament 19 Stage 1. For these 17, the journey in the final Halo 5 tournament has just begun. With the largest field ever going into the second stage, how many will advance to the third stage? Will we have a new record here too? Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird tournament for sure. I mean, I was practicing that stage 1 and really was struggling on the mix and match. So to break through and clear is pretty fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy to be here. I don't have very high expectations for stage 2, but it's just very cool to actually pull it off for once on stage 1.
Honestly, I'm just happy to have made it. Obviously, I haven't cleared stage 1 on this course before, so anything from this point is just a positive.
Well, I cleared stage 1 again. That was my main goal this tournament. And now that I'm here, I'd love to beat the sand ladder. And if I can do that, I actually think I stand a pretty good chance.
Oh man, I'm pretty confident on it, but like I said, I could slip up anywhere at any time, but I'm really hoping I can get to stage 3.
Feeling okay. If I can get past the metal spin, I feel like I have a good shot at clearing the stage, but that is also more than halfway through the course, so, you know, looking to go out with a bang. It's Halo 5, this last ever time jumping was on Halo 5, so looking to go out, hopefully on stage 3.
I feel pretty good. There's a few obstacles that I can slip up on, but there's nothing that really bites deep. The only thing that I can really think I can slip up is the wind chimes. There's pretty tight precision jumps, so I just hope that I can, you know, pull through and get stage 3 again.
I feel strangely confident. I didn't like the salmon ladder because I was poopy at it, but now I'm good at it. And the rest of the stage I feel really good. The only thing that's going to kill me is if I go speed racer again, but we'll see. So let's clear the stage.
Well, feels pretty good to be back on stage 2 for the 9th time and the 3rd tournament in a row, I guess. I'm finishing off pretty nicely. And I guess I'm part of an elite group that has cleared stage 1 in the first and last tournament, which is pretty cool. In terms of this second stage, I think I've got to be careful with the salmon ladder again, because I failed it last time. But I think with the time limit, there's a lot of obstacles on this stage that could take me out. But we'll see how it goes. I could succeed, I could fail. It's just great to be here and amongst a record group of competitors. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes.
I'm a little more worried than I was on stage 1, but for the most part, I feel pretty good. Like, I'm only worried about the salmon ladder the wind chimes, and the metal spin. But everything else, I'm 99.9% sure that I'm going to beat.
This is the one stage that I've only failed once, and the obstacle doesn't even exist anymore. So I should get through this stage. If I don't, then I'm being stupid.
Stage 2. I've been here a few times, and every time I get here, I have a lot of confidence on Stage 2. I think Stage 2 has always been one of my stronger stages throughout pretty much anything that isn't abs. But I think since it is the last tournament on Halo 5 for Spartan Sasuke, I'm trying not to be too overconfident. I just want to focus on each obstacle individually, especially the salmon ladder and especially the metal spin, because man, there's been a lot of metal spins throughout jumping courses, and I feel like aside from my own, I've never really struggled with any of them, but this one is actually giving me a little bit of an issue. So I hope I can accomplish that. That's the only obstacle I'm really focused on, but I'm gonna obviously take each obstacle at a time and hopefully get through the stage once again.
The second stage of Tournament 19. 17 competitors taking on a record group of competitors. 7 obstacles with a shorter time limit. Let's see how our record-breaking group of competitors does. First up, Petrillo Fam 4. He is one of 5 competitors to take on the second stage for his first time this tournament. He'll have only 80 seconds to get through 7 obstacles, beginning with a new obstacle, the Rolling Log. This obstacle was in Sasuke 37, but it did not get used due to rain, finally getting its spotlight here in Spartan Sasuke 19. Onto the double salmon ladder. This obstacle has been slightly nerfed since the last tournament. Each of these jumps a quarter foot smaller than they were before. Petrillo making good work of the salmon ladder so far. One more run left to go, and he's on to another new obstacle. The stick slider is fairly simple. You just gotta navigate the head slide. Bit of a time waster before we get to our next new obstacle, the wind chimes. 4 small poles he's gotta get across. Alright, looks like he's gonna send it. Petrillo making it through onto the metal spin. Will he be able to get through this? It's been a tricky obstacle in the past, but no problems for Petrillo. Onto the coil dodge. A classic obstacle we haven't seen since Tournament 4. Back for Tournament 19. It is the next last obstacle designed to put more pressure on you. And he's made it through onto the wall lifting. And Petrillo Fam 4, on his first time attempting Stage 2, is gonna advance to the third stage, clearing with 7 seconds left on the clock. First run on Stage 2 this tournament, and already our first clear. We're off to a great start. And there's the crowd in the distance celebrating Petrillo Fam's clear, and the success would not stop there. Kilomanoodle made a crazy move on the coil dodge by not stopping, and that move paid off when he cleared with 9.8 seconds left on the clock on his first attempt at a second stage, and clearing the second stage for his first time. Unfortunately for the next 3 competitors, things would not be as successful. Ninja Warrior 718 failed the double salmon ladder, as well as Crown Ferret 19. Crimson Gold 360 made it further, only to go out on the metal spin. Alright, 5 competitors through have taken on the course, 2 through to the third stage. Next up, the British man Z-Master. Let's see how he does on his first attempt at Stage 2. Last one to attempt Stage 2 for the first time. Let's see how he does. Onto the rolling log. Z-Master. Oh, getting a safe jump there, but he cannot recover! Z-Master already out on the first obstacle, the rolling log. That is a shame. Alright, hopefully Sonic Fan 10193 can do better. This guy made it to the second stage last tournament, where he went out on the double salmon ladder. Let's see if Sonic Fan can get revenge on that obstacle and hopefully even find the same success as Patrol Fam and Kilomanoodle and reach the third stage. Sonic Fan into the rolling log. Hopefully he won't make the same mistake as Z-Master, and he does not. He's gonna try to get revenge on the double salmon ladder now. It was his first jump that he failed last tournament, so technically he has already gotten revenge, but you know he wants to get through the rest of the obstacle. Minute left going into the second set. Sonic Fan getting each of these jumps pretty nicely onto the stick slider. He's got 51 seconds left to go as he approaches the speed, the speeder, and he's on to the wind chimes. Taking his time, lining himself up to this 40 seconds, going into the third peg and the fourth peg. Sonic into the metal spin. We just saw Crimson Goals fail this earlier. And Sonic fans, he's gonna stick the metal spin. Nicely done. Onto the coil dodge. He's had no experience with this before. Let's see if he can figure this obstacle out. Sonic fan nicely through into the wall lifting. Quickly lifting these walls up as well. And Sonic fan 10193 is advancing to the third stage, becoming the third different competitor to do so this tournament. Nicely done by Sonic fan. It was a very smooth run all throughout. Sonic fan, he got his revenge on the double salmon ladder and was able to take his skill and put it to good use, even going as far as sticking the metal spin. Well done to Sonic fan 10193. He'll be moving on to the third stage. On now to Launchshot Arrow 76. This is his third time on the second stage. He'll be looking to make a third time the charm on this stage. Will he be able to do so? Let's find out. He'll have 80 seconds to get through 7 obstacles. And the British Roblox kid is off. Launchshot Arrow onto the rolling log. Doing a nice forward approach on this. Not a lot of momentum for the dismount, but it is a pretty easy dismount, so no troubles for him at all. Now for the double salmon ladder. We'll see if he can get up this again. He hasn't failed it before. Hopefully he won't fail it this time. Now there is no hop and swap in this tournament, unlike last tournament, so stage slider obviously a much easier third obstacle compared to the hop and swap last tournament. So technically he's still gonna get revenge, but his pace is a little slow. He's only down to 36 seconds, so he may want to pick up the pace here on the wind chimes. Launchshot, safe jumping the second ledge. What are you doing, Launchshot? Stop being so careful, man. You gotta go. Go, man. All right, he's finally through it. Onto the metal spin. Less than 20 seconds. I don't know if he's gonna have enough time. It's gonna be close. He's got to hustle. Onto the coil dodge. First coil. Second coil, and he mistimes it. Launchshot, it's to no avail. He's out on the coil dodge. On now to Siren, another competitor who has never cleared the second stage on Spartan Sasuke before. This was a bit of a long intro, so he sped up the footage a little bit here. Make time go by a little quicker, but a lot of people there for his intro nevertheless. Siren, 5th time making it to stage 2, his 2nd time in a row, first time it's happened. Siren, he'd love to get to stage 3 for his first time, especially before his big move. Let's see if he can do it. Siren into the double salmon ladder where he fell last tournament. Oh, but he's already out. He got hit by the second ledge. Let's see what exactly happened. That was a bit of a bad camera angle. Cameraman should be fired. But yeah, his shoulder got hit by the second ledge, and he paid the price and fell in the water. Chris going winless on Spartan Sasuke's second stage, but now here is Weapon Matt. Weapon Matt has defeated the second stage before, but it was only once back in Tournament 12, which was the last time he attempted the second stage, but it has been a while since he's been here. A lot of these obstacles new to Weapon Matt. So let's see how he does. Weapon Matt into the double salmon ladder. He has faced the straight up salmon ladder in the past, struggling to get up it, but he looks like he's going to initiate a spring jump technique here. This is his final appearance on Spartan Sasuke. He'd love to get to the third stage this tournament. Weapon Matt through the double salmon ladder into the stick slider. Weapon Matt heading through the head slide and into the wind chimes. We saw Launchshot struggle with this obstacle a little earlier. Weapon Matt looks like he's a lot more comfortable with it. Plenty of time going into the metal spin. Let's see how he does. Going for the left chain, he gets the safe jump, and he's across. Onto the coil dodge where he failed in his debut. 25 seconds left to go. Should be enough time if he can just not make a simple mistake here. He's through the second coil, looking for the third coil. Fourth coil, and oh no! Weapon Matt! He rushes the 5th coil, and he's out! His Spartan Sasuke career is over on the coil dodge. failing the same obstacle in his debut. He made a very simple mistake when he rushed going into the 5th coil, and just like that, Weapon Mat's career on Spartan Sasuke is over.
Was I gonna time out?
He rushed it.
I feel like I did my time in jumping. I'm ready to go on to new adventures in my life, and it's kind of ironic. Finish it the same way I started right here.
Weapon Mat ending with a very strong career. We will miss you, Weapon Mat. Farewell, my buddy. Alright. But after that, we still got plenty of runs left to go. Next up, Atlantic Champ, doing his intro on top of a little statue there. Atlantic doing a bit of showboating for his intro, and there's Puma in the background. He'll be running later, but Atlantic Champ will be taking his turn at the 2nd stage. Last time he failed it was in Tournament 16, but he has succeeded in both the previous 2 tournaments, so hopefully Stage 2 will not be an issue for him today. Hopefully he can make it 3 in a row here on Stage Numero 2. Atlantic Champ into the double salmon ladder, doing a bit of a hop into that. Alright, Atlantic nicely up the 1st set. Looking into the 2nd set, no problems for him either. Atlantic Champ making good work at the double salmon ladder. Bit of lag going into the 6th ladder, but he's still going at a very good pace. Atlantic Champ on his way to the wind chimes. Let's see if he can get through this. Nobody's failed it so far, but can Atlantic get through it like everyone else that has gotten here so far? He is, and onto the metal spin. He's gonna slide into the chain, and it pays off into the coil dodge. We just saw Weapon Mat go out here. Hopefully Atlantic will not make the same mistake. Into the 4th coil, 5th coil, and taking a quick but more careful approach on that last coil. Atlantic Champ, it is gonna pay off. He's on the wall lifting, stuck a bit on the 2nd wall, but he's got plenty of time, and he'll be advancing to the 3rd stage for his 3rd time in a row and his 4th overall on Spartan Sasuke. Well done, Atlantic Champ. Moving on to the 3rd stage once again. And the success would not stop there. The next 2 competitors would also clear the 2nd stage, beginning with Mighty Max 80. Mighty Max was able to clear the 2nd stage for his 3rd time in a row as well, clearing with 9.3 seconds left on the clock. And following him was the first All-Star, Alpha Puma. He was able to find success as well, clearing stage 2 for his 2nd time. His timer was a bit more tough, but he was able to make it through with 5.1 seconds left on the clock, becoming the 6th competitor this tournament to advance to the 3rd stage. Alright, from one All-Star to another, next up, Hunter Unit 751, the host of Ninja Warrior of Halo. This stage does match his colors though, and he'll be attempting stage 2. He failed it last tournament. Hunter Unit does not want to suffer his 2nd stage failure this tournament. If he does, he'll have more stage 2 failures than any other competitor on this course, so hopefully that will not be the case. Hunter getting an early dismount here on the rolling log. He avenged his fellow Brit Z-Master. Alright, Hunter into the double salmon ladder. This is where he failed last tournament. Time for revenge. Hunter got the jump, he failed. Alright, should be smooth sailing throughout the rest of the obstacle. Ooh, doesn't quite get to the 7th ledge. He's able to now, but that is going to cost him a bit of time doing a sideways jump into the stick slider. Bit of a interesting technique there, but he makes it pay off. 40 seconds going into the wind chimes. He lines himself up, getting into the 1st peg. Alright, he goes into the 2nd peg, 3rd peg, 4th peg, but he overshoots it! No! Hunter is out on the wind chimes! He's failed the 2nd stage for his 6th time, more than any other competitor on Spartan Sasuke. He overshot the 4th and final peg, and Hunter's run in Tournament 19 comes to an end on the 2nd stage. Bad luck to Hunter Unit. As we can see here, yeah, he just overshot the ledge. That is really unfortunate.
No!
Oh no!
Oh, have I failed that?
Oh wow!
How have I failed that? That is terrible. Oh, yeah, no one's. I bet no one else has failed that.
The wind chimes claiming a rare victim in Hunter Unit 751. Alright, next up, Flamosaurus. This guy looking for his 4th stage 2 clear in a row. This guy has had lots of success on this stage. He's only failed it 3 times before in tournaments 3, 10, and 11. Flamosaurus looking for clear number 8 on the 2nd stage. Flame taking a sideways approach on the rolling log. Bit slower, but has a bit of lag going into the double salmon ladder, but he's going for his usual spring jump approach up the first set. Lining up for the 2nd set, he gets that. He's doing spring jumps facing forward, a little risky, but just facing forward in general on this obstacle is very risky, but he does make it pay off on that 2nd set. He had a bit of slip up at the end, but he still got plenty of time going into the wind chimes. This is where Hunter just failed. Do not make the same mistake, Flame. Alright, approaching the 4-peg, he's got it. Avenging Hunter's fail into the metal span, going for the left chain, gets the safe jump, and onto the coil dodge. He has faced this obstacle once in the past. Let's see how familiar he is with this obstacle. Let's see if he remembers his technique. Quickly through the coil dodge. Plenty of time going into the wall lifting, and he's gonna seal the deal. Flamosaurus moving on to the 3rd stage for his 4th time in a row, and with the fastest time, not the fastest time so far. Lank actually had the fastest time, but it's still a very fast time. 10.7 seconds left on the clock. Flamosaurus being the 7th competitor this tournament to clear the 2nd stage, and with that we have tied the stage 2 clear record. With 2 runs left to go, we do have a chance to not only break the 1st stage clear record, which has already been broken, we have a chance to break the 2nd stage clear record as well. Let's see if these last 2 competitors can do it, beginning with Strafe Helix. Strafe Helix is making his 60th appearance on Spartan Sasuke. I believe this is his 9th time on the 2nd stage. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, Strafe Helix into the first obstacle, the rolling log. Strafe Helix doing a bit of a safe jump there. Bit of cowboy wrangler technique, but he makes it through to the double salmon ladder. Strafe Helix, this is a guy who has only failed the 2nd stage once, and that came back in tournament 10 when he failed the batch stream. So let's see if he can pull through for yet another stage 2 victory. I believe this would be his 8th if he can do it this time. Anyway, Strafe Helix into the stick slider. No issues for him. Onto the wind chimes where his fellow British All-Star Hunter just failed. Hopefully Strafe can get through into the 4th peg, and another British All-Star out of the wind chimes, and it's the 4th peg again that claims the Brits. Strafe Helix out on the wind chimes, and he has failed the 2nd stage for only his 2nd ever time. That is a shame. He didn't overshoot it, unlike Hunter, but he did come up short. That is unfortunate.
No!
Oh. No.
I don't even know what happened. I don't know, I was just being stupid. At least it wasn't an obstacle that was something like the salmon ladder or ladder spin. Something that's been around for a long time. At least it was something that's new that took it out, and it was probably well deserved. At least I got up to stage 1 this tournament. I had high hopes of getting to stage 3 and maybe stage 4. I guess we'll have to wait on Infinite.
That is unfortunate, and with that, we have only 1 competitor left to take on the 2nd stage this tournament. The host of Halo Ninja Warrior, Smoky Massacre, getting a backslap from Ninja Warrior of Halo host Hunter Unit 751, and now Smoky Massacre looking to clear stage 2 again. Smoky Massacre, 80 seconds for 7 obstacles, and his run has begun. Smoky Massacre has only failed the 2nd stage once. That was in tournament 16. He's made it to the stage for his 13th time, and now he'll be looking to clear the stage for his 12th. That is just impressive. He already has more stage 1 clears than anyone else on this course. He'll easily have more than anyone if he can get through to this. I'm pretty sure he already does, but he will have submitted it if he can get through this stage. Alright, plenty of time going through the stick slider. Alright, into the wind chimes. This has been causing troubles for some of our competitors. Hopefully Smokey can prevail here. Into the third pad. 4. This is a tricky one. Smokey into the metal spin. He was a little worried about this obstacle, but no problems whatsoever. Going straight for the dismount into the coil dodge. He should be very familiar with this obstacle. Oh, that was a close call. He rushes it and got smacked by that 4th coil there, but he scrapes by, and Smokey Massacre on the wall lifting. Bit trouble lifting that second wall. And he's gonna advance to the 3rd stage. We have a stage 2 clear record. 8 competitors moving on to the 3rd stage in the 19th tournament. And it's all thanks to this man right here, Smokey Massacre. And there he is celebrating. Looks like he's trying to get back to the grandstands. Looks like he wasn't able to quite do that, but he'll be able to celebrate a stage 2 victory after a very close call on the coil dodge. Smokey on his way back to the 3rd stage for his 3rd tournament in a row. And with that, 8 competitors will be moving on to the 3rd stage. Another record. Petrillo Fam 4, Kilomanoodle, Sonic Fan 10193, Atlantic Champ, Mighty Max 80, Alpha Puma, Flamosaurus, and Smokey Massacre are the heroes of the 2nd stage and will be taking on the 3rd stage, which hasn't been defeated in 2 years. Could it happen in the final Halo 5 tournament? We're about to find out.
Well, I'm really just glad that I got this far. I really didn't expect to. The Sidewinder's a bit of a pain to me, but I'm really just hoping that I can put on a show and do something interesting.
I feel pretty good. Honestly, you're probably going to hear Rog cheering because I got to the finish line. The only 2 obstacles that I could possibly fail is obviously the cliffhanger. I've choked it 3 times in a row, but I think I got it down pat this tournament. The hang climb can give me some struggles too, but other than that, I feel really solid about this stage.
I think a gerbil has a better chance of beating stage 3 than me. My goal is to beat the Sidewinder. That'll basically be anything past that's the final stage, so if I fail a Sidewinder, that's gonna suck.
I'm not feeling the best, but because of the 2 obstacles behind me, the planet bridge and the cliffhanger. It's like the planet bridge, it's not that big of a deal. I just gotta beat it. I have practiced it a lot. I think I can beat it. Then there's the cliffhanger, which I have a very big vendetta for, and I'm 0-5 on it. I have practiced to the point where my thumbs can barely move because of how much they hurt, but I've kept going after that. So if I can beat the cliffhanger, I can't even express how happy I'll be.
This stage 3 is really tough. I definitely think I have a chance at this one. Maybe a better chance than I did last tournament when I failed the cliffhanger. I feel a little more confident on the cliffhanger this time, but still, I think some of those later, the second half of this stage 3 is pretty challenging, and I think it's a tough task to get through it. I'm just gonna try my best, and honestly, I really just want to get past that cliffhanger and do better than last tournament.
The 3rd stage of Spartan Sasuke 19. 8 of the trickiest obstacles ever conceived, and we have a record-breaking group of competitors taking it on. We haven't seen the final stage since Tournament 13. Can one of these 8 pull through on the final Halo 5 tournament? We're about to find out. First to go, Petrillo Fan 4. He is one of 3 competitors this tournament, taking on the 3rd stage for his first time. And he's got a long way to go before the final stage. So let's see how well he can do on his stage 3 debut. 8 obstacles, beginning with a new obstacle, the rolling dice. This is a fairly simple obstacle. You gotta balance yourself on the rolling dice as it moves down the track. It is a simple obstacle, however, it is pretty simple to slip up, so you gotta make sure you keep focused and keep your focus and not make a simple mistake. It is a slow obstacle, so you do have to have a bit of patience as well. Going for the dismount, and he's defeated the first obstacle. 1 down, 7 to go. Next up, the Sidewinder. This obstacle has been slightly nerfed since the last tournament. Instead of each of the head size getting smaller and smaller, they're now the same height. So, Petrillo making good work of the Sidewinder through another obstacle. On now to the Planet Bridge, unchanged from the last tournament, except he's got a new coat of paint. Alright, looks like he's going to try to stick the first of the 6 balls. Petrillo making his way for the rest of the obstacle. Can he make it? Petrillo, nicely done. He's on to the Lunatic Cliffhanger. 6 ledges from hell. He's got to get through these first 2 ledges. Fairly simple, but the next 2 are 90-degree corner jumps. Those are the tricky ones. He's going for the first one, going straight for it. He's barely got the first 90-degree jump. Looking into the second. He's got that one as well. Looking into the 5th ledge. You cannot underestimate this one. He's got it. 1 ledge left to go. Can he defeat the Cliffhanger on his first time attempting it? Petrillo, he's lining himself up for the big jump to the 6th ledge. He goes for it. Petrillo, he's got it. He's beaten the Lunatic Cliffhanger on his very first attempt. He is halfway through this 3rd stage. He is making a statement here in Tournament 19. But next up, the Curtain Clean Kai. We saw 2 competitors go out on this last tournament. Mighty Max AD and DHC Fireball. Petrillo fam looking into the 2nd corner jump. He's got it. Doing a bit of a safe jump there. Looking into the 3rd corner jump. Got that as well. 4th corner jump. Oh no, he slips off! Petrillo out on the Curtain Clean Kai. It was a good run, but a simple mistake has ended it. Looking back at this Cliffhanger, it's impressive that he was able to defeat it on his very first attempt at the 3rd stage, but it all falls apart on the very next obstacle when he slips off when trying to go for the 4th corner jump. Nevertheless, a very good run out of Petrillo fam to kick off the 3rd stage this tournament. He should not be ashamed of that at all, but the Curtain Clean Kai has once again claimed another victim. Alright, 1 competitor down, 7 to go. Next up, also taking on the 3rd stage for his first time, Killamanoodle. He reached the like Petrillo, he also reached the 2nd stage for his first time in this tournament and beaten it. How far can Killamanoodle go? Can he possibly even get further than Petrillo fam? We're about to find out. He's got a long way to go. Before then, let's see how he does, beginning with the rolling dice. Having a bit of trouble getting it moving, but he's got it rolling nevertheless. You gotta have patience with this obstacle. It is not an obstacle you want to take fast. You want to make sure you can get through each roll carefully. And he's doing just that. He's about halfway through it. He is allowed to dismount at any point he wants. Right about here's the earliest you can dismount, but he's gonna take a few more extra rolls. Killamanoodle, now for going for the dismount. Into the Sidewinder, we just saw Petrillo dominate this obstacle. Let's see if he can do it. Ooh, barely gets into that 2nd one. Will he be able to get into the 3rd one? Another close call, not as quite as close as the 2nd one. Easily into the 4th one. Another obstacle down for Killamanoodle. The Noodle Man onto the Planet Bridge, eyeing down this very tricky obstacle. Into the 3rd ball, 4th ball, 5th ball, 6th ball. He's got it. Onto the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Can he defeat it on his first attempt? Let's find out. Into the 2nd ledge. Looking into the first 90-degree jump. Going into the 3rd ledge of the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Taking his time. Can he do it? Alright, he's gonna take a safe jump. He goes for it. Oh no, he cannot make it. Killamanoodle did not quite get the jump right, and he has failed the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Let's see what happened. He goes for the double jump. It is a technique I use myself, but it looked like he didn't quite pull back enough to get back to the 3rd ledge, and Killamanoodle is out. Alright, the last of the competitors to take on Stage 3 for their first time, Sonic Fan 10183. Despite being called Sonic Fan, he did take a bit of a while for his intro, so we did speed up the footage by 2 times. So, anyways, Sonic Fan on only his 3rd appearance at the course. Let's see how he does. Can he make it as far as our other competitors? Let's see. Fan going a little quicker on the rolling dice. He was able to get it moving more easily than Kilomanoodle. But it looks like he's starting to slow the dice down, kind of hanging on to each of the side. That will slow it down. Fan taking his time with the rolling dice, does not want to make a simple mistake, and he's gonna go for an early dismount. Fan onto the Sidewinder. He's really worried about this obstacle. Let's see how he does. He's into the first one, looking into the second head slide. Taking a bit of time lining up for this. He's gotta go sooner than later. Fan, he goes for it, and he makes it. Oh, bye Atlantic. And Fan. Oh, hi Atlantic. Anyway, Fan. Ooh, almost fell off there, but able to get into the third slide nevertheless. Fourth one. Bit of an easier landing there. Fan onto the Planet Bridge. He beat his expectations by getting for the Sidewinder. Let's see if he can get through the Planet Bridge as well. This is a tricky obstacle. Let's see if he can do it. Fan looking into the Planet Bridge. And he's gonna go straight for it into the third ball. Halfway through. Come on, Fan. He's nearing the end of the Planet Bridge, but overshoots the sixth ball. Fan out on the Planet Bridge, makes the same mistake as Flamosaurus last tournament by overshooting the sixth ball. He had too much momentum and had no chance on landing on it, and Fan's incredible run is over.
Shot it!
Sparking quite a reaction from Fan, becomes yet another victim of the Planet Bridge, a very deadly obstacle. Alright, that is 3 competitors down. Onto our fourth one, Atlantic Champ. This is his 3rd time in a row on the stage, and Atlantic Champ is looking to get revenge on one particular obstacle, the Lunatic Cliffhanger. He has never defeated the obstacle on his times on the 3rd stage, and now he'll be looking to finally settle a score with the Cliffhanger once and for all. Atlantic Champ into the 3rd stage for his 4th time. He's going quickly here on the rolling dice on that first cycle. Atlantic Champ, nice moves on the rolling dice about halfway through the track. Atlantic Champ would love to get through the Lunatic Cliffhanger. He's been saying that he has a good chance of reaching the final stage this tournament. We'll see if he can follow up on that promise. Right now, Atlantic Champ taking a few extra rolls here on the rolling dice. Looks like he's gonna have it roll it to the end of the track. No problems with that at all. And he's gonna dismount from the rolling dice onto the Sidewinder. This was an obstacle he has had worries with in the past. Oh no! Atlantic! He pulls a Smokey and saves himself. An incredible save. Gotta attempt it again. Got it this time. 2 more head slides left to go. That was a very close call on the Sidewinder. I think my heart just skipped a beat there, but Atlantic Champ, that was a scary attempt at the Sidewinder. But he's onto the Planet Bridge. He's gonna stick the first ball. No safe jump required. Atlantic Champ, can he get through the Planet Bridge unlike Fan? Yes, he can. Time to settle the score with the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Here he is. He's slashing his sword. He knows what's at stake here. Come on, Atlantic. You can do this. Atlantic Champ into the second ledge. Looking into the first 90-degree jump that Kilomanoodle failed. Got it. Looking into the second 90-degree jump. Atlantic goes for it. Got the jump. Here's the ledge he's never completed before. Got it. 1 ledge left to go. Can he do it? Atlantic Champ looking toward that 6th ledge. It is a big jump. Atlantic goes for it. Gets the jump. And Atlantic has done it. He has finally defeated the Lunatic Cliffhanger. And that is our 2nd competitor this tournament through that obstacle. Nicely done. Atlantic Champ halfway through the 3rd stage. He has set himself a personal best. On now to the Curtain Clean Kai. We saw Petrillo go out on this obstacle earlier. No one's made it through it so far. Can Atlantic be the first this tournament? Ooh. Bit of a short hop going to the second one. Going for a spring jump approach. Ooh, another close call there. Gets a safe jump to recover. nicely through the curtain clean tie. 3 obstacles left to go. Next up, the hang climb. This obstacle has been modified since the last tournament. It has a new pattern now. Although it has less jump, the jumps themselves are a lot harder. Can he figure out this new hang climb? Alright, ooh, almost comes up short on the second ledge. Looking into the third ledge, these jumps get bigger and bigger the further you progress. This is a huge jump right here. He's got to use that pole in the middle to gain momentum. He's got it! Atlantic Champ has made it for the hang climb. 2 obstacles left now. Next up, the Iron Thrones. This is a brand new obstacle. He has to wedge himself into 5 thrones with very tiny ledges. Atlantic, he's wedged himself into the second one, getting the safe jump. He stuck it. 3 more thrones left to go. 2 more thrones left to go. Atlantic getting the safe jumps on the 3rd throne. Looking into the 4th one. He's got that one. He's got 1 throne left to go. Come on, Atlantic. You can do this. He has. He's gotten the last one. Atlantic Champ. 1 obstacle left to go before the final stage. Another new obstacle. It is the bar glider. It is very similar to the pipe slider from tournaments past, except the biggest difference is that you have an 8-foot gap in the middle that lifts you up. He's going really slowly on this obstacle. He knows what's at stake. He has a good chance of being the first competitor in 6 tournaments to reach the final stage. He's approached the gap in the middle now. Can he get up it? Yes, he can. Halfway through the bar glider. He's nearing the final jump. The final jump also hasn't been attempted since Tournament 13. Can he do it? Another drink of water there. This is a big moment right here. Going really slow. Bit of lag there, but not fazed by it at all. Getting closer and closer. Even if it's by inches, he's still making his way to the final jump. Everything is on the line right here for Atlantic Champ. He's reached the end of the track, looking to crouch down and attempt the final jump. Can Atlantic Champ make it to the final stage? Atlantic, he goes for it. Atlantic Champ is going to the final stage. Atlantic Champ has beaten the 3rd stage. For the first time in 6 tournaments, we are going to see someone attempt the tower.
Let's go, boys.
I don't believe it.
Somebody
Jeez, I
like
hope you're thinking of obstacle ideas because you're gonna have to start your tournament now because you lost the bet.
That run was utter perfection. Starting with this save on the Sidewinder, he did the same thing as Smokey did last tournament when he came up short. He was able to recover. He's able to defeat the Lunatic Cliffhanger for his first ever time. He finally settled the score with that obstacle, but he would not be denied with the remaining obstacles. He was the first to see the Iron Phones. It was a last-minute addition to this tournament, being added literally the day before the tournament even started. It hasn't had much of a chance to practice the Iron Phones, but Atlantic Champ has made it count, and now a very victorious Atlantic Champ is standing by.
It's honestly my best moment in jumping so far. I'm really excited to be able to take on the tower. Not many people have been able to do it, and being on that short list of people to do it, it's crazy. It's something.
Well then, after all that, we still have half the competitors left to go. 4 more to be exact. Next up, the veteran Mighty Max 80. Mighty Max had a very good run on the 3rd stage last tournament, getting all the way to the Curtain Clean Kai. But now, Mighty Max 80 looking to take his success one step further and join Atlantic Champ on the final stage. Will he be able to do it? We're about to find out. Mighty Max going pretty quickly here on the rolling dice to start with. Alright, nearing the end of the 2nd cycle. On to cycle number 3. Mighty Max doing in complete control of the dice. Mighty Max continuing to roll the dice. Looks like he's gonna roll the dice to the end of the track as well, like Atlantic Champ. No problems with that at all. And he's onto the Sidewinder. We saw Atlantic have a very close call on this obstacle. Hopefully it'll go a lot more smoothly for Mighty Max. Let's see if he can do it. He's into the 2nd one. Nicely done. Looking into the third one. Yes, he's got it. One more left to go for Mighty Max 80 before he's completed this obstacle. And indeed he has. Mighty Max into the Planet Bridge that he failed 2 tournaments ago. He did beat this last tournament. Hopefully he can defeat it again. Taking a bit of time going into this obstacle, but he's into it and going straight for each of the balls. Into the 5th ball. 6. Nicely done. Onto the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Can he defeat this obstacle once again? He beat it last tournament. Can he do it again? Already for the first 90-degree jump. Mighty Max looking into the second one. Got that as well. Ooh, having to do a bit of safe jumps. Not really comfortable with this 4th ledge. He's finally stuck it though. Alright, looking into the 5th ledge. And he really far onto it. But is able to make the jump nevertheless. One more left to go before he gets for the cliffhanger again. Mighty Max 80 has indeed done so. Halfway through the 3rd stage. Time to get some revenge on the Curtain Clean Kai. Alright, looks like he's backing up for this jump. Ooh, taking a much different approach than what we've seen before. Looks like he has found a strategy for this obstacle, and it looks like he's gonna stick to it. It is paying off so far. 2 more corner jumps left to go. Gets a safe jump. 1 more corner jump left to go for Mighty Max 80 before he fulfills his revenge. He's got it, and he's through the Curtain Clean Kai, getting ready to attempt the hang climb. Mighty has set himself a personal best, but can he join Atlantic on the final stage? He's got 3 really grueling obstacles left to go. Ooh, almost comes up short of that second one, like Atlantic. Into the 3rd ledge, needs this big jump for the 4th ledge. Mighty Max, he's got it. He's looking for the dismount, he's got that as well. 2 obstacles left to go from Mighty Max 80. Could we see 2 competitors in a row on the final stage? That would be absolutely amazing. Mighty Max looking into the Iron Thrones. This is a very tough obstacle. Mighty Max, he's got 5 thrones. Trying to stick the first one, he's got it. Now looking into the second one. Going for it. But he cannot make it! Mighty Max 80 is out on the Iron Thrones! Mighty Max hits the wall on the second throne, and he had nowhere to go but down. Mighty Max 80 will not be advancing to the final stage this tournament, but despite that, it was still a very good run out of the veteran. Mighty Max 80 getting through 6 of the 8 obstacles on the 3rd stage. When it came to this new Iron Thrones, he just simply hit the front of the second throne and was not able to wedge himself in. Bad luck. And now let's hear from Mighty Max 80, see how he feels about his run.
I'm not disappointed at my run at all. I mean, I got a personal best that was far better than last time. But hopefully, I can pick up right where I left off on Halo Infinite.
Alright, 3 competitors left to go. Next up, the first All-Star taking on the 3rd stage this tournament is Alpha Puma. We have a very diverse group of competitors on the 3rd stage this tournament, and Alpha Puma will be kicking off the All-Stars on the 3rd stage this tournament. Alpha Puma, last time he competed, he actually did get to the 3rd stage where he went out on the Sidewinder. It has been moved 1 obstacle earlier compared to that tournament. Puma going for a Cowboy Wrangler technique here on the rolling dice. It is very risky, but he's making it pay off. Alpha Puma making his way through the rolling dice halfway through. Oh, he's shooting the rolling dice. That is so risky, but he is not afraid. He does not have any fears when it comes to this rolling dice. He's Cowboy Wrangling it. He's shooting it with a scatter shot, and he's made it through the first obstacle, but still got a long way to go. First, he must get revenge on this obstacle right here, the Sidewinder. He failed it 3 tournaments to go in his last run. Can Alpha Puma get revenge on the Sidewinder? Taking a lot of time to rest before this obstacle. Puma eyeing down the Sidewinder. He's just delaying the inevitable at this point. Just get on with it. There you go. Alright, Alpha Puma Looking into the second set. Going for it. Puma! Going for a bit of a spam crouch technique there. It's a little risky instead of just holding it, but he's making it pay off so far. He's into the third one. One more left to go before revenge is achieved. He's shooting that last one. Alpha Puma looking into the fourth head slide. Still shooting, delaying the inevitable. Come on, Puma, go for it, man. He's going for it. Oh no, he does not make it, and that is the end of his run. Alpha Puma once again out on the Sidewinder. Alpha Puma, his old nemesis, has once again eliminated him. He hit the front of the fourth head slide, and just like that, Alpha Puma's run is already over on the third stage.
Oh.
I wasn't ready. Oh no.
Oh, that was so sweaty.
It came for me.
That was a heartbreaking failure. But we still have 2 competitors left to potentially join Atlantic on stage 4. Next up, Flamosaurus. This guy, like Atlantic, has got a to settle the score on the cliffhanger. Stumbled on my words there. Anyways, Flamosaurus back for his 4th time in a row on the 3rd stage. But he's got to get to the cliffhanger first. Last tournament, he failed the planet bridge. Let's see if Flamosaurus can get to the Lunatic cliffhanger and hopefully settle the score once and for all. He has never defeated the cliffhanger on not just Spartan Sasuke, but any Halo jumping course. Let's see if he can finally do it once and for all. Flamosaurus on the first obstacle, the rolling dice. Taking a sideways dismount there into the Sidewinder. We just saw Alpha Puma go out here. Hopefully Flame can avenge his fellow all-star. Flamosaurus in the first one, going for the second. Does not crouch at all. Perfect control. Looking into the third set. Flame's got that as well. One more left to go. Can he avenge Puma? Flame has. He's getting ready to dismount from the Sidewinder, and now time to get revenge on the planet bridge. He's eyeing down the first ball. Oh, he's aiming that Sentinel Beam. You know he wants to get to that cliffhanger, but he's got a score to settle with this planet bridge first. Come on, he's into the first one, doing a bit of a safe jump there to stick it. Nicely done. Looking into the second ball of the planet bridge, taking a bit of time lining up for this. He is worried about it. Oh, he's safe jumping the second one as well. This is a very risky technique from Flamosaurus. We have not seen any other competitor successfully pull this technique off, but Flame is making good work of it. He's onto the third ball, doing the same technique. No worries from Flame. Looking into the fourth ball, will he do the same? Flame, he will. He's into the fourth ball, safe jumping that as well. Flame is fearless, and he finally full sends the last 2 balls. But now, here it is, the major break obstacle, the Lunatic cliffhanger. Can he finally do it? He's put in so much practice into this tournament. This is what it all comes down to for him. Now, into the second ledge. That's where he failed in tournament 16. Now going for the first 90-degree corner jump, taking a very slow approach. Wants to make sure he gets this jump right. Spring jumps into it. Now for the 4th ledge. Can he get through this one as well? The second 90-degree corner jump. Flame taking a very careful approach. Gets that one as well. Now for the ledge he failed 2 tournaments ago. The 5th ledge. He's really hanging off the edge there. But he's almost comes up short, but he just makes it. Alright. If he can just get through one more ledge, he will finally get through his longtime nemesis. Flame's really hanging back on that 5th ledge. He's really hanging off the edge there. Hopefully that won't come back to haunt him. He is really close to slipping off. Come on, Flame. What is he thinking about? Oh, he's looking to go for the 6th ledge at last. And here he goes. Flamosaurus Can he do it?
Yes!
Finally! Nicely done by Flamosaurus! He has finally defeated a Cliffhanger on not just Spartan Sasuke, but a Halo jumping course. Spring jumps the Curtain Clean Kai, and he's going quickly on this obstacle. Hopefully it does not backfire! I know the celebration was very short ago, but he must not make a mistake now. He does not on the Curtain Clean Kai. He'll at least make it to the dismount platform. He's lining himself up, and he's defeated the Curtain Clean Kai onto the hang climb. On now to the first ledge. Alright, this is a very tricky obstacle now, but no one has failed it so far. Hopefully Flame will not be the first. Flame into the second one. That's the cleanest we've seen anyone get that jump so far. Flamosaurus looking into the third one. He's got it. One more left to go. He's got a big jump to make for this fourth one. Lighting himself up. He's on the corner looking to make the jump. He's got it! Almost slips off, but he makes it nevertheless, taking the dismount very carefully here. And now he's 2 obstacles away from reaching the final stage. This is where Mighty Max failed earlier, the Iron Thrones. Can Flamosaurus do it? 5 very grueling thrones. Can Flame make it? He's into the first one. He gets a short hop there, looking into the second throne. This is where Mighty failed. Flame has got it! Flame has gotten to the second throne! Nicely done! Come on, Flame. 3 more left to go. 2 more left to go. Come on, Flame. He's so close. He can virtually smell the final stage at this point. Flame. No! No! Flame is out on the Iron Thrones! No, he failed getting into the 4th run. And a very impressive run comes to a heartbreaking end on the Iron Thrones. Going back to the Planet Bridge, he had a very risky technique when he stuck each of the Planet Bridge balls, and that technique paid off, and he was able to get his rematch with the Lunatic Cliffhanger, and he utterly dominated that obstacle. He may have taken his time with it, but it was good enough to get through a Cliffhanger for his first time. I know he's very happy about that. But I think another part of him really wanted to get to the final stage and join Atlantic Champ. Atlantic Champ getting more and more lonely as time progresses. Let's see what went wrong here on the Iron Thrones for Flame. Alright, he gets these first 3 nicely, but going into the 4th throne, he makes the same mistake as Mighty Max. When he hits the front of the 4th throne, he's not able to get into the throne. It looks like he got even closer than Mighty did on the 2nd throne. That is heartbreaking. Let's hear from Flame now.
Honestly, I'm not even mad that I failed. I'm like, after I beat the Cliffhanger, I just didn't care how I did afterwards. And I did what I said I was gonna do. I finally beat the Cliffhanger. You know, it took me like 15 tournaments, but it's better late than never.
And with that, we're down to the final run on stage 1. Next up, Smoky Massacre. And there's Patty Freakin there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do a run, but he made it out to show his support for Smoky Massacre. And now he is riding Patty's head to the start line of the 3rd stage. He is the only competitor left that could potentially join Atlantic on the final stage this tournament. And there's Hunter Unit 751 giving him the back slap as always. And now here we go. Smoky Massacre, the final 3rd stage run on Halo 5. 8 obstacles, no time limit. Beginning with the rolling dice, he can take as long as he wants on this first obstacle. It is all about control and not necessarily about speed. Smoky Massacre taking a nice cautious approach here on the rolling dice. A nice controlled approach as well. He's getting pretty far on the obstacle. Smoky heading into the 4th cycle. Smoky, he's going for the dismount, and he's got it. Onto the Sidewinder. This is where he had a very close call in the last tournament. Hopefully it'll be a much smoother run this time. Here is the 3rd one. This is where he had that close call before. Come on, Smoky. He's into it cleanly. He may have been close, but he did make it. Fourth one, Smokey. Oh, he trips through the fourth one there. That was interesting. But he's onto the Planet Bridge that he failed 2 tournaments ago, going straight through it. And Smokey Massacre onto the Lunatic Cliffhanger. Time for revenge, going straight into it, not wasting any time whatsoever. He wants to get through the cliffhanger. Before Tournament 18, he had never failed a cliffhanger on a jumping course, at least a major one. But now Smokey making very quick work of it. He's already on the 5th ledge and looking to the 6th and final ledge. Smokey, he's going for the jump. Smokey going for the dismount. No! No, Smokey has come up short! No, Smokey fails the Lunatic Cliffhanger again, this time on the dismount of the obstacle. Who would have thought that? Oh, that is just utterly painful. Smokey Massacre, I thought he had it, but apparently he didn't. Smokey Massacre gets a bad jump off the 6th ledge. It does not have enough momentum to make it to the dismount. That is such a shame. Yeah, he just landed too early on that 6th ledge and he just came up short of the dismount.
2 tournaments in a row. I'm sad. This is how it all comes to an end. All this Halo 5, Spartan Sasuke, such a good run, but it ends with me coming up just short of that dismount. Yeah, I jumped a little early on the, I guess going from the 5th to the 6th ledge. If I jumped a little later, would have had a little more distance and I could have got a better jump off that tiny little ledge, but didn't get the jump I needed. Still, I can say I'm pretty happy with that performance. I'm just glad I improved over my last run, even if it was only by a couple jumps. So I can somewhat go to sleep happy tonight.
And after a very long tournament so far, Atlantic Champ is the lone wolf. Moving on to the final stage, we will be seeing a stage 4 attempt this tournament, and he will be ending Halo 5 on the new final stage. How will Atlantic do with a run with history? We are about to find out.
Welcome to the final stage.
He's reaching the 12. His pace is a little slow. He's 2 seconds left. He's running out of time. No, he's out of time. Onto the 14th, 15th. He almost led up to the top one. Come on up. No. He's there in the top. Last one. Can he do it? Yes. 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 He's done it. Up, double up. Kansas, say hi.
Welcome to the new final stage.
Oh, he's making a quick climb, but it's not enough. Vulcan 16 hands out of time. 1 second left. Come on up. No. Come on, go. Go. Come on, no. Fireball comes up short. Smokey, he's on pace to getting it. Come on. Yes. Smokey's done it. Smokey Massacre. Kansas, say hi. Introducing the 3rd iteration of Spartan Sasuke's final stage. 3 seconds left. He's not gonna have enough time, and Swantron 97 is out of time. E approaches the last cycle. He could be our first 2-time champion. Come on up. 2 more jumps left to go. Come on, come on. No. At this pace, Smokey will be our first 2-time champion. Come on, Smokey. He's done it. 3 seconds left. Smokey Massacre. Kansas, say hi. Complete victory.
Introducing the 4th iteration of the Spartan Sasuke final stage. Atlantic Champ will be the only competitor taking it on this tournament and will conclude Halo 5 with this very run. Atlantic will face 3 obstacles, beginning with the cubicle climb. 6 cubes you gotta climb up back and forth. From there, it's on to the salmon ladder. 13 bars, each jump is smaller than that of the stage 2 salmon ladder, meaning this salmon ladder is all about speed. If he can make it through that, it's on to the final obstacle, the giant tunnel. 16 cliffhanger-esque ledges he's gotta climb in a counterclockwise motion. And if he can make it up all 3 of these obstacles and hit the fusion coil in under 35 seconds, Atlantic Champ will become only the 3rd different competitor in the history of Spartan Sasuke to achieve total victory. Atlantic Champ's got a big run in front of him, so let's head down and hear how he's feeling.
Listen, at this point, I'm just here for a good time. I'm not even joking. If I get up this, I would be pleasantly surprised. I don't see it happening, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. It's not looking good, but I hope I can pull something through, maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has all come down to this. 19 tournaments on one game, Halo 5 Guardians. We have made it to the final stage for the first time in 2 years, and it's one of the toughest final stages we've ever seen in the history of Halo jumping. And Atlantic Champ will bless us with that attempt. Atlantic Champ, the little champ that could. He now approaches the tower. He's about to make a run at history. And there he is, at the starting line. He knows what's at stake. There is the fusion coil that could potentially crown him a grand champion. And now, here we go. Atlantic Champ getting ready to take on the final stage. A huge crowd, probably one of the biggest ever. But now, here we go. Atlantic Champ. 35 seconds on the clock. He's off! Atlantic Champ is on the cubicle climb. He's at a good pace so far as he's nearing the top of the obstacle. Into the salmon ladder, but he overshoots the ledge! Atlantic is out! He overshot the first bar of the salmon ladder. His run is over, and thus Halo 5 is over. Atlantic Champ will not become a grand champion here in Tournament 19. Atlantic Champ going out with such a very simple mistake. Looking at the replay here, yeah, he just had too much momentum going into the ledge. Did not have enough jump awareness. And with that, Tournament 19 has officially come to a close.
Nice.
Oh, God. That's it.
Did you overshoot?
I think, yeah, he overshot.
And with that failure, it is game over. All 100 have failed the course.
Honestly, I didn't expect to get up this. Just the fact that I got here is what, meant everything. Because I really wanted to get here at some point in Halo 5, and I'm so glad I got to do it on the last try. Shout out to everybody in the crowded little space station over there. I couldn't have done it without them, couldn't have gone up the first one without them.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first 19 tournaments of Spartan Sasuke. Throughout the past 4.5 years, we have seen 1,000 attempts made at the course. And 3 of them have managed to be successful, but in this tournament, all 100 competitors have failed. But I just want to thank you for supporting me for these previous 4.5 years. Without your support, none of this would have been possible. From the very first run in Field Scarecrow on Tournament 1 Stage 1 to Atlantic Champ in Tournament 19 Stage 4, we truly have seen it all here on Halo 5 Guardians. And now here is to the next era on Halo Infinite. We now leave you with an ending montage to celebrate the best moments on Halo 5. I'm RPG445. Farewell, everyone.